desktop audio is not working again. In the absolute.
Well, if yours isn't working, couldn't we technically hear it through mine?
No.
Oh, that got loud.
Okay. All right. I got
Yeah.
that fixed.
I was saying, I see you live on Twitch.
All right. I'm gonna put us on live.
Don't forget your camera's on.
Yeah, I know. All right. We're here. We're on Twitch. um,
You know what's interesting is I don't see your face on Zoom, but I see it on Twitch.
right.
Is
I
that
can't. Yeah, that's the best we can do.
gotcha?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I've I've muted Dana for a minute because so many voices coming through my headset. But for you guys, if anybody's watching or having major tech problems, I think it stems from yesterday's outage. Um, so I'm not sure. I got to figure out how to get us back on YouTube. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna mute myself and keep working on this tech issue, and we can listen to Dana and Jill. Feel free to say anything you need to say.
Well, one thing I want to tell you is that I don't know how you have to move things around, but your chat is covering the quilt on your screen.
Is it? Oh, okay. I will put that up here. I'll make myself
And
tinier.
also, I am huge on your screen.
I know. Um. Oh my gosh. Why must technology despise us?
It it really does despise us today, doesn't it? But you know what? It's not just us. For anyone that was like
Yeah.
that's already like peeping on Dana's thing, she also was like having problems.
All right, I'm scooting stuff around so we can see the screen. I cannot get it to work with both of us in here. Okay, I think it's the best we can do right now. If we can figure this out, guys, um, maybe our streams will be more interesting in the future.
What does that mean?
Well, because I can add more stuff in than we can necessarily on when we're just zooming straight or we're twitching straight from Zoom, Twitch and YouTube straight from Zoom.
Mhm.
I can put more stuff in when I use the streaming software. But we still have to figure out how to get YouTube on here. And that part I'm struggling with.
Well, it's a fun day. Super fun. At least Dana got her stuff working.
Yeah, I cannot get it. It's either or. It's either going to be YouTube or it's going to be Twitch. Well, what did that first that what did lot 1 go to? Did you hear?
I did not.
I think it was
I mean, this current lot's going at 650 right now.
yeah, I swear I heard that first one was over 1,000, I think.
Well, and her estimate is 600 to 1,200.
Yeah, she's already hit the basement.
Ooh, that backing's cool.
It's a pretty quilt, but I mean, it's very, very Pennsylvania colors.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she's moving fast today. It's because she's having tech issues, just like we were.
Well, she's only on lot 3.
Yeah, but nonetheless, she's moving
I really
quickly.
wish though, like, why aren't they turning on lights in their studio?
Hey, Arlene.
I don't remember. it being-
Yeah, I know you can go back and look, but if I touch the Dana, the Dana auction screen, I have to it causes problems. We've streamed the auction before, but
So
never.
the first one went for 1,300.
Ah, okay. I knew it was more than 1,000. Man. Okay, so I got an ad break coming up, and we're not streaming on YouTube right now, so.
Let me.
I love to
send
listen
out-
to Dana's patter. She
I'm gonna add our Twitch link to stuff.
This one. Oh gosh, nobody is.
Yeah, why is like nobody bidding on
Yeah,
this
this one I feel like is really unique because of the cutout. You know, it's not the normal just square.
one? Yeah, why aren't we interested
Oh
in this?
wow, this is a cool quilt. I'm surprised. It's got that. I mean, it's so unique.
Yeah, why is that?
Huh?
Wow, that one sold for $300.
Druid. I've heard that cadence in church before. Well, the Church of Dana's auction's a little bit more fun than Church, in my opinion. The collection plate probably holds just as much.
Fabric arrangement creates the medallion setting. There's that 11-inch floral chintz border. It still has its original glaze, folks. I don't
Oh,
know
this is one that's been
if
in
it's ever been washed.
a
Then,
publication,
the way
right?
it's folded, you can't see it, but there is
There was a
maybe?
magazine or a book or something that was
small
showing.
hexagon.
Yeah, you know what, Arlene? I totally agree with you. I have gotten a couple of things from Dana's auctions. I'm trying to think if I got 3 quilts from her now.
Sarah F. Corey,
I think it's been 3 quilts now.
Obviously, one piece, hand applique.
Yeah, it has been 3 quilts. I got one from when she did an auction for Winter Seminar. And then I got one of the Mary Schaefer quilts when she did that auction back in February. And then I got her last auction. I guess it was her last auction. I got a Magic Vine quilt that I had my eye on before, and then she had like a technical issue, and so that one lot had to come down, and I stocked that lot. And I reached out to Dana. I was like, "Is that quilt going back up?" And she said, "Yeah, it'll be back up in the next auction," which didn't happen until I guess early June.
Oh yeah, so this one was in the book Vintage Quilts.
Yeah. Vintage quilts.
600's on the floor, and you gotta be 6.5. 6.5, now 700. 700's on the floor.
I don't think I have that book.
700, 7.5, 7.5.
I think I do.
700 bid 7.5, 7.5 now 800, 800 now 8.5, 800 bid 8.5, bid 8.5, bid 8.5, 800 bid 8.5.
You know, I'm always curious about who's what bid.
I know. I'm always thinking, like, is it somebody we know? Are we gonna see
Oh,
this?
I'm sure a lot of these higher bids are people we know.
Or, you know, I mean, like, is this a quilt we are gonna see again in the future? Like, somebody, it's gonna be on somebody's like YouTube page or, I mean, Facebook page or something.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have to ask Dana like why they choose lighting like that, or I mean lack thereof.
It might be because, and I mean, this is just a guess, it might be because she is in, like, a big warehousey kind of thing, and the light just, the camera just does not pick up the natural light in there. Or it could be they've got the lights on low because it's hot. I don't know.
Well, but the thing I'm thinking is, you know, what's the point of having that live perspective?
Oh, I know, if you can't really see.
Yeah,
Very well.
like just let the ticking happen. Oh, this quilt's really cool. I wonder if this is gonna go high.
This is the Sharon Schnitt quilt.
Yeah, I peeked onto her YouTube live the other day when she was doing the preview, and this quilt's really cool.
Yeah, I missed the preview. I know you sent it to me, but I was right in the middle of something, and
yeah, I hopped on for a few minutes for, you know, support.
yeah, I've only watched like a little bit of one of her previews. Oh yeah, definitely the serious buyers. I mean, us, the non-serious buyers, have looked in detail because we're like, if I'm gonna violate my own no buying this month, if I'm gonna violate that rule, I want to look at things in detail.
I didn't know that was a rule this month.
Yeah, I'm saving up for seminar. Yeah.
I am prepared to spend some money today, but I did not go through the catalog in extreme detail because I don't need to get it.
Exactly. I'm like, there's really no major holes in my collection that I can afford. There actually is one quilt in here that I kind of was like, so I don't know. I have my phone right here, so just in case. But
this one's not climbing as quickly as I thought it would.
Oh yeah, this one's estimated at 2,000 to 4,000, and it's only, well.
But I just expected it to go like, you know.
Yeah.
1,100 now 1,200, 1,200 and now 1,300, 1,200 bid 1,300 bid 1,300 bid 1,300, 1,200 bid 1,300, 1,200 would you bid 13? Could you get 13? You got 13.
And I know since Arlene is here, she might know. I know I looked up Bobby Ogg, and I don't know if this particular quilt is from her collection because I know sometimes there's other stuff mixed in there.
Wow, that one only went for 1,200.
Wow, that is a deal. That was way under the estimate. But I don't know who Bobby Ogg is. Like, I looked her up, and I know she passed away this year. And it looks like she was a instructor or teacher, collector. She did a bunch of stuff, and I'm thinking I probably heard her name in the past, but I just wasn't really familiar with her. So I don't know if anybody out there has any, knew her or has knowledge about her accomplishments. I mean, it seems like she was very accomplished. I mean, she did a lot. So obviously she had some great quilts,
Yeah, this one's really cool.
I like the coxcomb design. Like, it's, I mean, it's one of the more complex appliques,
400, which would be 4 and a quarter, good to get 4 and a quarter, good to go 4 and a quarter, 400, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a quarter, all in.
Okay, so the AQS appraisal program. Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw in there that she was an appraiser.
400, 4 and a quarter going twice.
Yeah, I think I saw that the other day.
In time, 4 and a quarter, now 4 and a half. 4
Oh.
and a quarter, using 4 and a half, down 475, 475 to 475.
She's got, she must have a crowd there, or at least a few people there. Somebody that's collecting quotes. Because I keep seeing floor bid in there.
I wonder though if that's her team. I don't know if there's anyone actually in there. Maybe.
Oh, I mean, floor bid
If
has.
there's someone in there, I think we could probably guess within like 2 or 3 people who would potentially be in.
You think so? I don't know. I mean, New Jersey, it's centrally located for the East Coast.
Antique, circa 1830s, pre-printed patchwork chintz quilt, folks. It is unwashed with its original glaze.
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty.
Pre-printed or,
They do such a great job on the photos.
Yeah. And it didn't she, I don't know if you were around when I heard her talk about the photography. I don't remember when she talked about this, but she actually takes the pictures in the dark. She hangs the quilts like they're probably just hung on like I think they're flopped over like a dry erase board. But when they photograph them, they take them into a dark room and just have the flash on them, and that makes makes all of the details stand out. Oh, that's printed? So that's almost like a cheater. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
It's interesting the estimation is 400 to 800.
Yeah, I mean, this is 1830. I would have thought that that would be estimated at more. It seems unique. I mean, it's, of course, we know I'm not in love with chintz, so I have certainly not seen all there is to see with chintz.
Come on, chintz is your favorite.
Raise your hand if you hate chintz, but still look at it.
275 bid 300. I'm sorry, we cannot take bids on the comments. You have to use the bid button.
Oh my gosh, is this quilt only gonna go? Okay, all right. I was starting to get worried. Come on, people.
3 and a quarter bid 3 and a half. 3 and a quarter bid 3 and a half. I have him at 3 and a quarter. At the floor at 3 and a quarter. 3 and a half. 3 and a half. 3 and a half's on the floor now. 3 and a half bid 375. 3 and a half bid 75. 75. 75. 3 and a half bid 75. 3 and a half bid 375. 375 to go 375. 3 and a half is on the floor. You gotta be 375.
No, why isn't this going for more?
75 and 75. 3 and a half and 75. All in, all done. 3 and a half bid 375 going once.
Are you guys getting an
3 and a half
echo
bid
with Dana?
375 going
Because I'm
twice.
getting an echo on my end.
375 back to you for
Are you getting an echo because I have her because I turned her volume up?
Possibly, yeah. And I think that the stream will be getting the echo too because I'm sharing desktop audio.
Really? Really? Fine.
Well, a person could always wear headphones.
I can't. I don't have them.
Ah, that only went for 400.
I mean, that was the low end for her.
Yeah, but I'm really surprised because I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, maybe it's not that unique, but I kind of thought it was cool.
So this one has some damage, with some stars,
Okay,
but man, that
a
border
little
is
echo.
really cool.
Stars surrounded in the turkey red fabric. So that's the detriment in this.
I turned mine off.
Fabric is really starting to pop, folks.
Sorry,
'Cause I
Jill.
Well, because I can't listen to the audio on the Twitch because I have to hear you through Zoom. 'Cause of
I
the
know.
lag.
We got to figure this out. We got to figure out how to get the streams to work out, and then I don't have to share. I can share the audio in a better way.
I mean, the only good thing is that I guess I won't go to sleep tonight hearing Dina's auction call.
This
I
one
won't
is
go. I won't like lay down and go all in,
all done. It's very charming, but yeah, after you hear it like a dozen times, it like plays in your head. This
Yeah,
one's
I mean,
cool because those little things, they look like the medallion piece. It looks like a weather vane to me. I think this one's neat.
The border is really cool too.
200 bit 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 200 bit 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, not 2 and a half, 2 and a half to 275.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I can
that
see the
border is so
weather vane
cool.
vibes.
275, 3
Yeah, that border is just so cool.
3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, not 3 and a half. 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 3 and a half.
Yeah, this is a very pretty quilt. It looked like maybe there was some damage to the red in one of the. Yeah, that one.
You know what's interesting too, and I don't think it was this way the last time we watched our auction, is we're not seeing which bid number is bidding at any given time.
Oh yeah, you're
Don't
right.
we normally?
Yes, you usually do because I remember in a previous auction, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were talking about the people I was fighting with for stuff.
Yeah. Trying to see if I could change this. I can't.
4 and a half, all done. 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, now 475. 4 and a half to 75, 475 now 500. 475 to 500 to 500 to 500. This is much
This one's
easier.
not climbing as fast as I would think it would.
Yeah, I'm wondering,
5 and a half, now 600.
is it because it's summer? Are less people watching because it's summertime?
There's 69 participants on. 70 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's-
I want to say the last auction there was over 100 and something.
$600 going twice.
So, I mean, I'm wondering if it's summer vacations or
The
maybe.
last auction we did wasn't her though. The last auction we did was that.
Yeah, I know we
Maryland
did
one.
that Eastern Shore. Like, it was, I can't
Ooh.
remember.
Number 9.
Look
Oh,
at
this
this
is
one.
really pretty. Oh, the colors. Oh, wow.
Yeah, with the border.
That's gorgeous.
This also is believed to be from
That
Pennsylvania.
blue ring in there in the stars, like, really makes it pop.
Mm-hmm.
Hand pieced, hand appliqued, hand quilted, fair condition with small
Very
spots
nice.
and sewn
That border is so unusual.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen a cable border like that. Usually they're, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think like a quilt like that with a cable border. It's usually the quilting is the cable.
So what do you think? Will this one go high?
I don't know. They're all going much lower than I expect.
Well, except for that first one. The
Yeah.
first one went for 1200.
What can we start this at?
She's only got 400 to 800 on this one.
2.5 to 75,
Yeah.
to 75, 275 now 300. 275 to 300 now 3 and a quarter. 300 to 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter now 3 and a half. 3 and a quarter to 3 and a half. 3 and a half now 3.
I mean, we're doing a steady climb.
75 to 75. 375 now 400. 400's on the floor. 400 now 4 and a quarter.
Okay.
400 to 4 and a
All
quarter,
right.
4
This
and a
one's
quarter,
getting up there.
4 and a half. 4 and a half now 475. 475 now 500.
I mean, I wonder if maybe well, I don't know. I mean, Dana knows her business, but I'm wondering if that other quilt was just overvalued, overestimated,
6.5 now
I
or
mean,
just the right buyer wasn't there.
Could be a factor of I mean, because, yeah, even with an estimate, like, it's still a guess. you
Sure,
know?
yeah.
There's so
Um,
many things involved, and
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I know Arlene is an appraiser, and Dana's business. I mean, she knows this stuff, but yeah, I get it. It's so hard because it's now this
oh, here's
one.
the basket.
I love this one because this one is just really interesting.
It almost looks a little bit like it's an egg sitting in a basket with a bow on top.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hopes,
Number 10,
Arkansas.
antique circa 1920. This is a red basket quilt.
It is so interesting with those 3 dots there. It's almost like they were like, well, we're going to make this more interesting, but oh no, there was a little sprig. Fugitive. Okay. Fugitive die. There was a little sprig in there. I wonder if that little sprig was green or red.
In a very primitive manner, but it's quite charming and graphic.
Oh, and there's a little bit of, like, bleeding through.
Faded stems and some red dye migration.
I don't know that it would be red because the flowers are red. Probably green.
Ah, okay. So Arlene says sold price is what really drives value. Then consider any provenance and historical value. Gotcha. And that makes sense in real estate. That's what they do. You do the comps first, and then you talk about the amenities and all that kind of stuff. And You know, is it a tiny hovel that's 150 years old like my house? Or is it a desirable mansion with central air?
Now that I'm like noticing that little like those stems with the fugitive dye, it almost looks like a hand.
Yeah.
And they put like cherry tomatoes on the end of their fingers.
Yeah. It's kind of cool looking though from a distance when you can't see those little stems and you just have those
Yeah.
3 dots. It's like, it's interesting. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Wow, another bargain.
Wow.
Ooh, this one.
Oh.
Lot number 11.
Oh, for art quilters, you look at the exhibiting history and look at juried awards, juried exhibits and awards. Ah, yes, good to know. I have a few under my belt now, so maybe my quilts would appraise better than $1.50.
I'm gonna mute myself for a sec because Sunday's
Okay.
coming into the house and the dog barks.
Ah, okay.
It is a top in 1840 that was finished in 1959, 1960.
Oh,
So
wow.
a little bit of the family who made it, the family who quilted it.
Yeah, the antiques have so many unknowns. Yeah, I get it. I just think of like all the quilts I've looked at, all the quilt pictures I've looked at, and I feel like, I don't think I could ever be an appraiser just because,
With some really, really
I don't know, I overthink things way too much. And I know you eventually just have to make a decision, right?
high angle. These are dimensional. Oh my gosh, look how cool is that? Never seen that before. Okay, what can we start this at? 275 at 300. 275 at 300, 300 now, 3 and 4.
Ah,
Oh
look at
wow,
that.
we jumped right into 275.
Featherweight.
Now 375,
Yeah.
375 now 400. 400 now 4 and a quarter. 400, 4 and a quarter now 4
Wow,
and a
look
half.
at those, like the
4 and a
detail on
quarter,
those
4 and a half,
leaves are
4 and a
like
half,
bananas.
Yeah, yeah.
475.
She only has this one estimated at 400 to 600. I know it's got some damage, but like,
Have Dana appraise my Artist James project? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it, you know. By the time I was done with it, I was kind of like, is this good? Is it bad? I don't even know anymore. I'm terrible at like looking at my own work and feeling it's valuable. So
you guys, my life is complete now. I just had coffee delivered.
I'll bless the delivery man. He tried to help me with a technical issue and then ran out for coffee.
Yep. So it's interesting. This one's going quite a bit over her.
I know, that's what I
estimation.
was going to say. This one is blowing the estimate out of the water.
1,000's on the internet now. 1,100. 1,100 to 1,200. 1,100 to 1,200. 1,200 to 1,200.
Wow, somebody really wants this one.
It's, I mean, it's an album quilt. They historically always go.
Yeah,
For a lot.
they do. Yeah.
1,200, 1,300, 1,200,
It's a really cool looking quilt. It's
Yeah,
very pretty.
it's so unique looking.
1,300, 1,400, 13,
Okay, this one's making up for that other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do belong to Sakla. I have entered a few things. I actually have a piece coming up next month. They have an online gallery that I'm going to be in.
Really? Is that going to be your Artist James thing?
No, it's actually another piece. It's a piece that has shown. It's shown in 3 different galleries now, I think. So
You're really bad at sharing the deets here.
I am. It's so terrible because I get really stressed out about shows and things coming up, especially if it's something with a deadline that I've had to put a lot of work into. And then the day comes and I'm like, oh, $1,800. Wow.
When I see her, I'm going to tell her, you even went those 2 extra bids for her.
I really like this quilt.
Yeah, this one's neat.
All right,
Yeah,
lot
red
number
cross blocks.
12. This is a
All that adds to the provenance and build jar. Yes, my art resume. Oh my gosh, I need to update it.
Look at that quilting. It looks like a spider web.
Oh,
Did you
neat.
see that?
Oh yes, right in the center. It had the little.
That was cool.
Yeah.
This is published in Bobby's book.
Yeah, I need to take a page out of our friend Amy Paps. She and her quilts. You know, she's done a lot of work in terms of her her show resume, and she's had her quilts appraised.
Now 200. 190, what you bid 200, what you get 200's on the floor. 200 now, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a
If
quarter.
you guys see me ducking out of the frame, it's because I'm taking a bite of chicken nuggets.
Oh, do you have
Not only
leftovers?
did I get coffee, I got chicken nuggets.
Oh, are these new chicken nuggets or are these leftovers from yesterday?
They're new.
Oh,
Because nothing goes with your coffee better than chicken nuggets.
a chicken nugget. Yeah, I do have a resume, Arlene. It's just, it's, you know, it's slow to build it. It's not like my professional resume.
3.5 bid 375 going once. 3.5 bid 375 going twice. 375 in time. Back to you for 400. 375 and 400. 375 and 400. 400. 400.
I feel like these cross quilts are really, they're very collectible. They, like, she's showing these pictures and they're like, they're both cross quilts, right? Is that, I guess that other one is a cross quilt too, and they look different.
Mm-hmm.
And we sold it $375. That went to a Dana auctions bidder.
Yeah, they're totally different because the other one's set on point.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it really a cross quilt if it's set on point, like, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
would
So this
argue,
one is a
like-
cross, the other one's an X, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Depending on how you set it.
It's kind of cool if you got both though, that they're both on the same page.
Yeah,
on the
I
book.
just realized that the one she's going to show next is the other quilt. And I'm wondering if that book is Bobby Ogg's name on that book, that she was one of the authors, or maybe she's just a major contributor to the images in there.
I don't know.
Yeah. We learn things from these auctions sometimes about just quilt history.
375 now 400. 400 now 4 and a
Let
quarter.
me see.
400 for 4 and a quarter. 4 and a quarter. 4 and a quarter.
Yeah, she's on it.
4 and a quarter. 400's on the floor.
It's her, Sharon Newman, and Gerald Roy.
Ah, okay.
4 now 4 and a half. 4 and a half now 475. 4 and a half at 75 at 75.
Now, there must be something about this one versus the other one. Is it the scalloped border? Like, what?
Yeah, that border is definitely more interesting.
Yeah, because this one is like
75 now 500.
moving up much faster than that first one, and I kind of like the first one better.
5 and a half. 500 at 5
In
and a
my
half.
searching for that vintage
5 and a half at 5 and a
quilts
half.
book,
500 at 5 and a half.
another
going
book that I've
once.
never seen before popped up that looks very interesting.
Yeah. Don't you hate that
Or-
when you find new books?
Mm,
Why'd you have to show us that book, Dana? Okay, now
Yeah.
this one is gorgeous.
Lot 14, antique, 1870. Yep. Broken dishes variation.
I missed the picture from the front of
I
it.
can't find the pattern. I call it a variation. So
It's
if
very
I say
scrappy
variation,
looking, so
it is hand piece,
it's that
hand
smaller
quilted,
picture. It's
good
hard to
condition,
see.
just a few small spots
Oh
of
my.
discoloration.
Yeah, look at it. Oh gosh,
Oh,
what
it's got
pretty.
like hidden half stars and stuff.
Yeah, oh my gosh, how pretty.
41, 31, 41,
See, I love stuff like this.
51, 51, 41, 51, 51, 60.
So it's just a bunch of square and a square, but it makes it look like they're like
Hmm.
half stars.
Yeah, it looks like a star.
71, 70 now 180.
You have to let your eye see it.
81, 81,
Yep.
81, 91, 91,
I can definitely see it better farther away.
200. 190's been now 200 now 2 and a quarter. 200 bit 2 and a
Oh
quarter.
wow,
200
look
now,
at that
2 and a half.
corner.
2 and a quarter bit 2 and
I've
a
never
half.
seen a
2 and
corner
half,
like
2 and a half
that.
now, 275.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at the
75,
plaids.
75,
That is so
2 and a half,
pretty.
275, 275 now 300. 300 now 3 and a quarter. 300 bit 3 and a quarter. 3 and a quarter. 3 and a quarter.
So wait, oh my god, the corners don't match.
Oh, are they different?
Yeah, they're different. One's like
Oh,
cut out for
yes.
and
One's
one's
got
just
more of a
square.
cutout, and the other one's got. Interesting. I wonder why.
I wonder if that means it was two different hands.
Or if there was
That's-
something. Could have been something about the bed. That.
Well, I don't know, but that's very interesting.
Yeah,
I
you're
wonder
right.
if-
The one side has that little round cutout with the corner, and the other one's just the corner.
I wonder if that, for some people, will hurt its value. For me, I feel like it would semi-increase.
Oh
it,
yeah.
which is just
For me, I'd be
interesting.
like, yeah, that's cool. That's unique.
But we are camp Mary nerds and keep
Yeah.
quilts weird.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know, and that's a thing that I have found. I think that differentiates the nerdy cakelet army from other types of quilt studiers, devotees, and collectors. It's just like we like the weird stuff or the things that are oddball. And I don't know that all collectors value that.
Well, I mean, for one, it definitely adds to the one-of-a-kindness of something. This red works pretty.
You know, that's an interesting question. So, if you are just a collector, and I don't say that like in a disparaging way, but like if you just collect quilts versus also make them, you know, do you have a different, does your mindset about value, what you value, not total value, but like the thing that you value when you're looking at a quilt, is it different? Is it just, you know, is it automatically different?
45 and now 50, now 60, 50 bid 60, 60 bid 70, 60 bid 70.
This
now
one's
80,
interesting.
80 bid 90, 80 bid 90,
It seems to have a,
90, 100, 90, 100, 100, 110, 100, 110,
It's got a ton of script on it.
yeah.
And people are enjoying that.
Yeah, this is a neat one. The blocks are definitely unique. I mean, I see what looks like some of that standard embroidery. You know, those embroidery designs that were pretty common. But it's very, I mean, obviously, like each block is laid out to accommodate the signatures or the names.
The border on this, do you remember that red work I got once?
Yes,
where I was like,
that's
wonder if that
immediately what I
border
thought
looks
of.
just like it, yeah. So it must be some kind of pattern somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, were we talking over her? She called the border something. We were talking over her.
I can't hear her, so. I can only hear Stephanie.
Sorry. Well, you either get Dana's patter or you get me talking over her, depending on what you turn on.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe I'll just ask her. You know, I'll send her pictures of my thing and be like, hey, I heard you called this something. She did a shout out to me on the YouTube live preview she did because I had sent her some of the postcards for the vendor mall being open to the public.
Oh, nice.
And she's like, I'm gonna put those in with the when I send these out. This one's really cool.
Oh, remember this one? We looked at this one the other day.
It was stated in her book she believed that this was from Vermont. It is machine pieced, hand appliqued, hand quilted, good condition.
Now, in my opinion, I think this could go well over 2,000.
You think so?
Excellent.
It's all that interesting cut work.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine. I mean, I've done... This is not a Hawaiian quilt. Let me say that. She is talking, it's a 1920s circa cut work applique. And you see this kind of stuff also in Pennsylvania, where the Scherenschnitt is very popular, you know, in particular areas. But it's kind of the same process. Like you fold it up, and you probably fold your fabric the same way and do the cutting. And when you unfold it, it can be very, very persnickety to get it all laid out. So this one's got multiple of those. And some of those little lines are very tiny.
Wow, are we really kind of stalling out here?
Oh my gosh.
Are you guys joking right now?
What? Okay. I was like, somebody, this quilt is so beautiful. Here I am trying to drive up prices. I'm not even bidding. Oh, Arlene says that border description was in the border was in the description online.
Okie dokie. Why is this one climbing so slowly?
Wow.
500 bid 5.5 going once. 500 bid 5.5 going twice in time. 5.5 back 2 for 600. 5.5 bid 600, 600, 600. 5.5 bid 600. 5.5 bid 600, 600, 600. 600 now
Okay, all right. I'm so surprised. This one's struggling.
Yeah, I've snuck in a couple of times now at the last minute. But I could get a bid.
Don't regret it tomorrow morning. Hit it one more time. 600 bits, 6.5 going once. 600 bits, 6.5 going twice.
Oh,
In
wow.
time, 6.5 now.
Okay.
700. 6.5 bits, 700, 700 bits, 700. 6.5 bits, 700. 6.5 bits, 700 bits, 700 bits, 700.
Jill's trying to give this beauty a home.
$700 going once. 6.5 bits,
Oh, we're fair
$700
warning.
going twice. Last call. And we sold it. 600.
It's me.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Very unique quotes
This one's
coming
very
out, folks.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't
looking.
remember looking at this one when I went through the catalog.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever makes.
It almost looks like it's painted Is it painted fabric?
Yeah, it's stenciled.
So
But
this is a
1870, I don't know that I've ever seen that.
stencil quilt.
Yeah,
Very
Quilt just
rare,
says
very
it's a
unusual.
beauty.
I have only
for
seen
your
one in museums,
cut
and
work.
I've only seen two. One of them is actually in the Hopewell Museum in New Jersey. They have one.
Thank you, Quiltish. Well, you know what we'll have to do now is we'll really have to like eagle eye it when it comes in.
I saw one in the
Mhm.
Pennsylvania Museum.
So she said
So much
she's
for
seen
my-
one of these in a
But
museum.
otherwise, I've been, in my 30
So
years of
much
working
for
with quilts, I've
my
only seen- this is my third
not
one.
buying
So they're
anything.
very rare. It is hand painted.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know, when there's a bargain like that.
And it is published in one of
I
our
know.
books. And what can we start this at? Cheap, cheap, cheap books. 170, 180, 180, 180.
I love it when she's like, cheap, cheap, cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's gonna send out my quilt, and then there's gonna be a little note, "Dear Jill, cheap, 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 cheap."
Thank you so much for bidding quickly, folks. You have no idea how much we appreciate that. 3 1/4 of it, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/4 of it, 3 1/2, 3 1/4 of it, 3 1/2.
Uh-oh, did we lose her audio?
You're not gonna find another hand stenciled quilt from the 19th century coming up within the
I am
I
not
can
the
see her
person out.
moving, but all of a sudden the audio went
3
away.
1/4 of it, 3 1/2 to 3 1/2 to 3 1/2, 3 1/4 of it, 3 1/2.
I have her audio.
3 1/2 to 3 1/2 to 3 1/2, 3 1/4 of it, 3 1/2, 3 1/2 now. 375 at 400 at 400 at 400, 375 at 400. Do you have one in your
Oh, is this gonna be another one?
Uh-oh, it's my audio. Ah!
375 at 400, 400 now 4 1/4. See what I did there? 400 now 4 1/4, 4 1/4, 4 1/4 now 4 1/2. Back to you for 4 1/2, 4 1/4 at 4 1/2 now 475, 475 now 500, 475, 100 now 5 1/2, 500 to 5 1/2, 5 1/2 to 5 1/2, 500 to 5 1/2. 500 with 5 1/2, you get 5 1/2, you go 5 1/2. 500 with 5 1/2, 5
What are you
1/2,
doing with
5
me?
1/2, all in, all done, 5 1/2, and now 600. 5 1/2 at 600, 600, 600. 5 1/2 at 600.
Say something, Jill.
6, but you give 6, but you go 6.
Did you-
all
did you
in,
kill
all
me,
done,
Stephanie?
600
Oh
now,
my gosh.
6 1/2. 600,
Really?
6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 600,
My
6
my
1/2.
desktop audio, like,
600,
for some
6
reason has
6
just
6
completely
6
crapped.
600 bits, 6 1/2.
Well, I also
all in,
noticed
That's
I'm
my
no longer on
headphones.
your screen
Just a
either.
minute.
600 bits, 6 1/2 going once.
Anything could be happening, you guys.
600
I
bits,
can't
6
hear it.
1/2. Last call. Sold $600 to bidder number 335. $600 to bidder 335. Lot number 18. We have an antique circa 1870 Starburst quilt, hand pieced, hand quilted, good condition with several spots. Discolorations and some edge wear along the edge. Yep, a little bit. What can we start this at? 110, no, 120, 120, 120, 110, 120, 130, 130, 130. Pay attention, folks. 130 now, 140, 130, 140, 140, 140, 140.
Yeah, so I did move Jill out of the...
140, 150,
There she is. I'll put her
150,
back.
160, 160, 170.
Yeah, my audio just keeps like it sounds like you guys can hear me, but I can't hear Jill or Dana.
Really?
My headphones just keep like dropping the stream.
Well, they can. I can hear me on your Twitch.
All in, all done. It is here to sell, folks. Very, very graphic. And if you've done any piecing, you know those diamonds are fair to piece and get to lie flat.
This doomed technology day. Yeah, so Sorry. You pay attention to the auction. I'll deal with the technology.
Yeah, but then I'm just talking to myself and you're not talking.
I know, right? So I now have audio coming out of my speakers. Is that a problem for anybody? Are you guys hearing like double sound? Hopefully not.
It sounds fine to me.
Okay. I worry when I don't have like stuff coming through my headphones, then, you know, I'm never sure. Is desktop audio picking itself up? Is the microphone picking stupid technology.
Is this star quote really going for 275? Oh my god, that star quote went for 275.
Oh my gosh. Holy moly. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me there's some people that showed up either online or there and were there for specific things, but there's some good bargains here to be had.
Yeah, well, I totally would have like snuck in on that quote, except for the fact that I just spent quite a bit on that other one.
Yeah.
Okay, what can we start this at?
What's her premium? It's 18%, right?
I think so. I think it's 18.
30 now, 140. 40 now, 150.
Are you
Yeah, so that means that one quote was 767.
Yeah. Jill and I were talking about that the other day. You know, you have to think about that. You know, if you're on a budget with auctions, I think I've mentioned this before. You have to think about, you know, any shipping if it's not local to you, and then you have to think about the buyer's premium. And I know sometimes they'll cut you a deal if you're paying in cash, but if you have to pay with a credit card, you end up with a fee sometimes there too. Or rather, the way they put it is, it's not really like you're being charged a fee for credit cards. You're getting a discount for paying cash. But really, it's the credit card fee that they're charging you. I think my local auction house, and of course I don't have to pay shipping because I can go there and pick up. Did I lose Dana's audio again?
$275 at $300 going twice. $300 now, 3 and a quarter. $300 at 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter. $300 at 3 and a quarter. $300 at 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter.
No, I can hear Dana's audio on your Twitch.
Okay, well I'm not hearing it here, so I guess I can just watch what it's being said here.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'd like to maybe hear what she says about the quote, but I don't really care if I can hear it, because I prefer the ticking anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess whatever you can hear, guys, you're welcome.
Hey, the fact that we got here at all, right?
I know. Oh, Druid's got biscuits in the oven. What? You better send some of those my way. You know, I will digress for a moment. My neighbor, she is a scenic painter, so she's very creative. She's really good at doing certain, you know, creative things, but she cannot sew worth a lick. And so she's always coming to me and saying, I hate to ask, but I have this thing that needs to be mended. And she's very respectful about it. Like, she's not one of those people like, fix this for me. You know, she's always like, if you don't have time, you know, I can take it to a tailor or something. I just, your work is better. And I'm like, okay, stop buttering me up. But she's always like, she wants to pay me. And that I appreciate. Like, people that have that mindset, like, yes, I will do small mending projects for you. It's the people like my husband that come in with his uniform shirts and his pants going, hem this, sew a patch on this. I have 3 shirts I have to show a patch on. And anyway, my neighbor is like, okay, what do I owe you? And I was like, keep me at the top of the biscuit list, because she makes the most delicious biscuits, and she'll bring us like, 2, and one for me, one for Rob. And so I was like, yeah, I need half a dozen for each mend. So yeah, that's our deal. I will mend for biscuits, and depending on how big the mending job, there may be multiple batches of biscuits. Hey, Miss Rawl. Oh no, is sound totally gone? Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear me? Is it just Dana's sound is gone? Let me see if I can refresh Dana. Maybe that'll help.
You're coming through on my Twitch.
Okay. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, Michelle can hear everything. Drew can hear. Okay. Why does this suddenly want me to log in to watch her? Okay.
2 1/4 of a 2 1/2, 2 1/2, now 275.
Yeah.
Because Steph, anything that's going to go wrong today will go wrong.
Exactly, and I can't. Yeah, it's not giving her.
2 1/2,
Okay.
75 going once.
I don't know if you fixed it, Quiltish, or if I fixed it by refreshing. I can't hear anything. So. Yeah. So Jill and my next plan is to figure out the dual streaming through my streaming software. Absolutely know it can be done. I just like today thought I could get it to work and it wasn't having it. So
Well, but to be fair, some of that might not be a problem with you. Some of that might be.
well, no, it is definitely my streaming software. I just have to figure out like there's some setting in there. There's something I have to change in there to get both of the streaming services up. With Zoom, yeah, there was some there was some rigmarole you had to go through to get it to work. And even then, it was still like, it worked on y'all's end. On my end, it was, the other day was just crazy. It was showing me all kinds of weirdness. Ooh, Antique Quilts and Textiles. Do I have this book? I do not think I have this book. All right, let me write that one down. Speaking of mending, I tend to put stuffed animal things back together. It's like, aww. Oh, that is so sweet. I like mending a little stuffy.
This is pretty. This is a pretty scrappy quilt.
Yeah. Is this the one, she had pictures of the back, right? And it's like a stripy back.
2 1/2, 75, 75, 75, 75, now 300, 2, 3, 7, 300, now 3 1/4, 300, 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4, now 3 1/2, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2. Let me make those mistakes now and not Friday.
Do you guys want to see a
3
puppy?
1/4, 3 1/2, 3 1/2.
Yes, of course.
3 1/2, all in, all done. 3 1/4 bit, 3 1/2 going once.
Ah, this is Bobby's valuation book. Hi, Winnie. Hi, little pup.
And we sold it $325. That went to the Dana auction.
Do they have pup
That was
cups
a
at Dunk?
Really nice buy.
No.
Lot
How
number
dare.
22, we have a circa 1880s Mennonite bars quilt from Pennsylvania.
She's over here trying to get my
Hand
chicken
quilted,
nuggets.
in good condition with a few small spots. This is published
Oh, that was
by
a thing
her.
way back when.
Yeah, that's a great backing. Isn't that a great backing? Yeah. Very, very graphic.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking about valuation books and stuff. I don't, I mean, do those, that kind of thing get published anymore? I mean, I feel like things move so fast now that,
Yeah, not that I feel like the last ones. I mean, we would do probably better, but I feel like the last one I ever saw was maybe
We're
like
at
in the
160
80s.
now, 170, 170 now, 180 now, 200.
People are excited about this one.
yeah, it's so interesting, you guys. And like,
Although they're calling it Mennonite Bars quilt.
well, my guess and my hope is that as an appraiser, Bobby Og had that provenance, because we know our friends in Pennsylvania get a little itchy when Mennonite or Amish is applied to a quilt and there's no provenance that you could point to. Buying it from a Mennonite person who says, yes, I know this was been in my family or somebody's family, and I guess that's provenance. But a dealer that says, this is Mennonite, who knows?
Or a Mennonite Amish quilt.
Although I do have to say, you guys, for a while we were like, there is no such thing as Mennonite Amish. Actually, Amish Mennonite is a thing when you talk about the people, in terms of the religion, and I'm no kind of expert on it. But yeah, I think you would not say that about the quilt, right? It's the cultural, religious aspect of the people that might be Amish Mennonite. But okay, this one.
That looks like it went to a Dana auction.
You're not gonna bid on this, right? Oh, cute! It's got a little
They
name
don't want
on
to lose it. Exactly. Hey, how you feeling, Matt? You feeling okay?
Oh, what did it say, Eloise? So this is a Paragon. This was when they had those awesome 70s.
1970s Paragon kit quilt. This is called American Glory. extra batting. Very good
Are you gonna
condition,
finish that
only
sentence?
minor pilling.
Yeah,
Blue
I'm
dots
watching
of
this.
quilting are evident, which is very, very common.
They
on
won't let
musical
me bid on it
quilts
for some
from
reason.
The later 20th century.
Um,
And one corner on the back has the name Elsie Worden.
but yeah, this is when they were doing those really awesome 70s prints, right? And you could see kind of in the up close those, you know, I call them the Cranston VIPs. They may not necessarily have been a Cranston VIP fabric, but they've got that look about them. I mean, you guys know, if you've been around a minute, you know what I'm talking about.
It's a kit quilt, so I think it came in different variations.
Arlene's having breakfast. You're having lunch. It's brunch. Iced coffee and chicken nuggets. I mean, come on, that's brunch.
No, Arlene, I sent my partner out to grab me a coffee because I didn't, after my shower, I didn't have time to go get one myself. And he had to stop at the store just to get like a couple other things, and he just came back and delivered some chicken nuggets. So I'm like, hey, I could use a bite of a few bites of something. It's not near as good as the chicken we had yesterday.
200 now, 2 and a quarter. 200 bid, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 200 bid, 2 and a
I
quarter.
like that
2 and a
dark
quarter,
print.
2 and a half.
Oh man.
2 and
The
a quarter,
flowers.
2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half now, 275. 2 and a half at 75, at 75, at 75. 2 and a half at 275. 275 now, 300. 275 at 300, at 300, at 300, 300.
This
Yeah.
is the colorway you want, Steph, right? You want a different colorway?
No, I mean I do want this colorway because this is sort of the bicentennial. But yeah, it has. I'm out.
Oh, I didn't know you were bidding.
Yeah, I gave it a shot, but the problem is because I'm bidding from my phone.
Last call. In
We got fair
time. 3
warning.
and a quarter
Oh,
now,
the
3
one's
and a
3.5.
half. 3 and a quarter, at 3 and a half, at 3 and a half. Come on, don't let them sneak in there like that. 3 and a quarter, at 3 and a half, at 3 and a half, at 3 and a half. 3 and a quarter, at 3
Yeah,
and a half,
because I'm
going
bidding from my
once.
phone.
3
It
and a quarter, at 3 and a half, going twice.
it doesn't want to update.
Last
Oh my God.
call.
Fair warning.
And we sold it for
One for
$3.25.
That was me, you guys.
Oh, this is
Oh God. That was the one quilt in here that I want. Oh my God, I got it. Holy crap. It was in the estimated range though.
Hey, that is like a Merry Christmas to you for your Artist Dreams project.
Thanks, Mishral. Yay. Yes, thank you, Jill. Although my Artist James stipend is going towards something else. Yeah, oh boy.
I didn't even know that. I love this star quilt. Oh my god.
It's just, wow, that's like a showstopper quilt to me. If I saw that hanging up, I would have stopped in my tracks.
It's really,
What can
really
we start
awesome.
this at?
Okay, Kate can't bid on anything else, y'all. I'm in my brain. I'm already calculating.
375 now, 400. 400 now, 4 and a quarter. 4 and a quarter now.
Yeah, I was out at 300, but you know, when it's stuck at 325, I can afford an extra $25, can't I?
5 and a half down.
Man, this one's
600 now, 6 and a half. 6 and a half now, 700. 700 now, 7 and a half, and now 800.
Oh, yeah.
900. 900 now, 9 and a half.
Oh wow.
We're gonna have to pay attention to which dealer's selling this soon.
Yeah. This one's very pretty. But you know, I go back to the fact, like, what is the difference between this and say, you know, that star quilt a while back? I mean, obviously fabrics, very different.
Like this one's gonna go for $9.
This one's older, I think.
This one's circa 1850.
Yeah, excuse
So
me.
cool. And that went for $9.50. Guarantee my dealer's gonna sell it for at least
We have a
$1,200.
vintage 1950s
Yeah.
Amish trip around the world quilt, machine pieced, hand quilted in black thread.
See, I
Very
was
good
not
condition,
prepared for
minor
this
light
auction.
discoloration.
I think it's gonna be time for me to like run a sale on my
All those
website.
characteristics.
Yeah, I guess I need to update my shop. I haven't. I've let it go. I haven't been giving it the love it needs. Now here's a question. Estimated price of $1,000 to $2,000, whether it goes for that or not. I mean, this is a quilt from the 1950s. Now, how does the age and the fact it's Amish and the fact it's very pretty, it looks like it's in very, very good condition, yeah. And I mean, look at that quilting. I mean, to me, I'm like, how do all of these aspects of the quilt add up when it comes to, you know, oh wow, is it already at 950? I mean, yeah, that opening bid was like 850. Yeah, quiltish, it does look modern, you know. I mean, and that's the thing about you know, Amish quilts is that they have always looked modern, you know, like put them up against you know, any modern art. It's more the Amish. Okay, so yeah, Arlene's saying age, this period is more traditional than what they do now. Okay.
These little basket things are so cute.
Oh gosh, have we already moved on? What was the
Yeah,
final?
I went for 950.
950. Okay.
Yeah. It's a cactus. It's supposed to be like prickly. Yeah. It is hand and machine piece, hand quilted.
I love these
It's in
little
fair
baskets.
condition
Look
with
at that
storage
cheddar.
I know baskets are great. You know, my mom loves basket quilts. I mean, she's bought at least one from you.
Yeah.
Small hole in a fold.
My Ishmael?
The quilted is
Maybe more than one.
magnificent.
I know the one I think of, I always think of is that lavender one.
Scale that does it for me. What can we start this at?
Amish land is so commercial now. Yeah, that's right. You just came back from Ohio where there's a lot of Amish community there. Yeah, I feel like, you know, my mom, when I was younger, probably high school, middle school, she and her friends, you know, they didn't have like a whole lot of money. And 80s, 90s were, you know, big time in Amish country, at least Pennsylvania. And she would drive up with her friends and, you know, they would go have a meal or something and look at, you know, quilts and things. But I mean, I feel like just culturally things have changed a lot. It makes sense. You know, I mean, it's not like the Amish are, you know, I mean, they're living right beside the English, you know, and things have changed so rapidly for us in the past, you know, 30, 40 years. You know, they're keeping up in a lot of ways, even though they're very savvy. They've always been great business people, you know.
Shut up. Is this quote gonna go for 250?
What? Wow. But yeah, the Amish are even, you would think that, I think people have this kind of misconception about the Amish that they, oh, you have a Mennonite community near you, Quiltish up in Canada. So interesting. I know that there are Mennonite and Amish Canadians. I guess we just don't think, especially where I am, because I'm so close to Pennsylvania. We don't think a whole lot about the Amish that are outside, because there's, you know, very predominant Amish community just above me, and then down in southern Maryland, about hour and a half from me, there's a really big Amish community. And what we'd found out is that the Amish in like southern Maryland are very different than the Amish like just north of me in Pennsylvania. Our friend was telling us, you know, who has done a lot of work with the Mennonites. She was telling us that they, you know, like there's some Amish communities that don't ride bicycles. There's an Amish community up there where we were in Bird in Hand. They weren't riding bicycles. They had these scooter things. And they were like, had like a big wheel. They were wild looking. They were the coolest looking scooters. But she said, yeah, the Amish right here, they don't do bicycles. But the Amish down in southern Maryland definitely do bicycles. I used to see them all the time. And I think, Arlene, you just said, you know, bicycles instead of buggies. Yeah. Honestly, if I was them, I mean, both bicycling and buggies are dangerous on the, you know, the rare areas they live. Those roads have gotten so much more heavily traveled. And I always worry about them when I'm up there. I'm like, oh, God, don't run over the buggy. Don't hit the horse. Like, oh, God. People drive so recklessly.
The blues in this quilt are really cool.
Yeah, they're indigo, right?
Did you say indigo resist? Oh, yeah.
So buggies where you are, lots of bicycles. Yeah. So the relief sale in Ohio was last weekend. They actually have one in Fresno. Interesting. Yeah, I think the relief sale for the Mennonites in southern Pennsylvania, I can't remember when that one is coming up. One of our friends is involved with that, so I wanted to add it to my calendar. Very cool Democratic rose. This is similar to one I bought. Similar. Mine's older. But the same kind of standard Democrat rose looking quilt, pink and
I feel
Agreed.
like we're just like going through every quilt in this book.
And this is published by
well, I mean that's the thing. If this is her if that was her valuation book and this is her collection, you know, I mean, what I think is interesting is however old that book is, that these quilts were all still in her collection. You know, because I feel like some people, collectors, dealers, they're, you know, and she, I guess, was a collector appraiser. They're constantly shuffling stuff in and out.
Sure.
So, interesting.
300 bid, 3 1/4 going twice. Last call. And we sold it. That one $300.
Says that
went
book's
to
2002.
auction bidder.
Oh, okay.
Lot number 29.
Really?
Antique
Oh, wow, bicycles in the winter quiltish.
Twinkling
Yeah, it's
Star quilt.
2002. Wow.
Hands and machine
I don't know who
piece
did the
and quilted.
design, but that
Fair condition
book
with
design
stops,
cover looks a
several
lot older
fabrics
than
deteriorated.
2002.
But there is a great variety of prints, including Madder
Oh,
Browns,
this quilt's really
Centennial
cool.
Blues, Cheddars,
Yeah,
more,
didn't we,
and
Twinkling
great
Star,
small triangles.
Tallulah
Very
Bottoms had some
high
Twinkling
degree
Star
of
stuff.
difficulty in
I
piecing
can't
this
remember if they were
together.
quilts she made or if they were
Danny likes
quilts
it.
that were in her
Danny likes it.
family.
What can we start
Um,
with? 150, 160, 160, 160,
But yeah, the
160,
twinkling is
160,
from the fact that it's
160,
scrappy, right?
160.
The fact that it's not all one color.
160, now 170,
I think, but I mean, I think that's what they said, like what we read was that twinkling piece comes from the fact that it's
I
not.
believe you because I don't remember.
We also know I just make stuff up when I can't remember. I'm kidding. I try not to make things up. My memory is so terrible that I do often like just I guess, and it's never right.
Hi, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Wonder where you've been.
Welcome to our technology debacle.
Oh my god, is this quote going for $200?
What? Oh man. Okay, no. Somebody swooped in with 225. Oh. Yeah, I'm really done. I said I wasn't gonna bid on anything, but I did bid on my Eagle quilt, and yeah, I'm really shocked I got it.
Oh my god, am I gonna get this quote?
Last call, 2.5 and now
Nope.
275. 2.5 and 275.
Somebody
Big
jumped in.
square, come on. We love
Somebody
having you.
else.
Bid a little quicker.
Man, I really feel like I was 1 second away from getting that quote.
Yeah, it was, you know, and it's always that person who's sitting there going, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
Even still, $275 for this is quite the bargain.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like it's in really excellent condition. Oh, this one's pretty. Yeah, this one's pretty.
Lot number 30. We have a vintage
This one,
1960s flower basket.
I
Well,
think
Ted, the state
I
is
could
from
be wrong.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Now that I'm looking at those
Well,
flowers.
look, even the quilting is the same as the patchwork.
Oh, neat. Yes. I don't see that often.
Yeah, isn't this somebody?
You know, I was about to say that this is like a Nancy Page, but I'm not sure. I think maybe it kind of looks like a Nancy Page.
60 bid,
Hold on.
70 bid, 70, 70
Let's
now,
see.
80 bid, 80 bid, 90 bid, 90 now, 100. 100 now, 100.
Yeah, this one is really cute.
No, this one doesn't say
20, 130,
if
130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 130,
Yeah, I'm thinking it's just looking like one of the Nancy Page. There's a Nancy Page definitely that, or I think it's Nancy Page. Yeah, it should be Nancy Page. That are baskets like this, but they're smaller, and it's fruit. And I think we looked at that one recently. I think. Yes, because I remember the grapes and the cherries and stuff are really stunning applique. I mean, you have to be kind of expert applique to get what this particular pattern I'm thinking of. Because you've got lots of little things like grapes and cherries and stems and leaves and things. Yeah, Robin, you remember. It wasn't that long ago we looked at that. This one's going under too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless somebody swoops in.
180s. Yeah, 180s.
Wow. Okay.
Quite a deal.
Here's, I'm calling her Mama. The Sue Mama. She's the Sue about town. She's Sue who went and got a job in the city.
I really like how all of the Sues are very different. It's what's with the Edwardian bosom?
I don't know. And you know the thing is, because I have a quilt with this pattern, so it's not for a longest time I thought that my quilt was just somebody had drafted it themselves. But it is a pattern, and you know, it's intended to be what you see. Old Sue. I also love the fact that her shoulders are coming from under her hat. So many of these, all Sues are like that. But yeah, it's.
Why is her bosom like closer, more like she's got a really high belly? Like,
Well, to me, it looks like the was it the 1880s, 1870s, 1880s, where they had the pigeon breast? That's what she looks like to me, like her clothing. But I don't know if that's really what it's intended to be. I don't know. But yeah, it's actually a
people are
pattern.
apparently excited about it.
You know what? I would like to say I single-handedly brought Sue back. Because honestly, I was buying Sue quilts not long ago for like nothing. You know, I mean, and now a lot of times when I look at a Sue quilt that's in good, I mean, this one's in very good condition. Yeah, they're selling for these much higher prices, and I'm like, it's just a Sue quilt. Stop taking them from me. Because I'm like, I thought I was going to be the one who owned all the Sue quilts because nobody wanted them. But
Yeah, this one's going for some money.
yeah, I mean, what?
This one's doing better than the last quilts.
Seriously. Okay, so it's got a few unique things about it because I am becoming an expert in Sues. You don't often see that checkerboard border. That's interesting. The setting is interesting because you have them set, you know, kind of in a medallion, like, you know, setting. But I'll be honest, this is not my favorite configuration of Sue because she is weird looking, and I like what they did there though with the rickrack. Looks like a necklace or a like something on her bodice. Wow. Holy moly. Okay, Sue About Town. Oh, this is interesting. Somebody wants this Sue.
And it's not you.
Yeah. I mean, I
You know why? You know the one reason you're not like I have to have that suit is because it's not coming out of the trunk of my car in the diner parking lot.
Exactly.
That makes them even more interesting.
Exactly. I like to buy my Sues in the cover of darkness. Although I do think, I'm trying to think, that day we were at the diner, it was still early enough to be light outside. Now that is so interesting to me. So a quilt that was far, far older went for nothing. That Sue quilt went for $550. Yeah, go on with your bad self. I'm interested to see where that went. I wonder if we'll see it in somebody important, you know, some big name.
Oh, this has like a name on it.
Oh yeah, Dora
Signed and dated.
or something. Shindle.
Why is this one taking so long to get going?
Are we in Bizarro World, you guys? An 1884 quilt is going so slow, and a dang Sue quilt just went for $550.
And again, this one is signed and dated.
Wow, this is really interesting, you guys. Okay, it's gaining a little bit of steam. Well, stalled again.
I'm getting anxious.
Starlene says, I think people look for something unusual. Pigeon breast Sue stealing the auction spotlight. No kidding, right?
I cannot believe how
I know. Oh, this one seems like, yeah, this one's gonna go unless somebody jumps in.
Dude, this quilt is going for $250.
Oh my goodness.
And we sold it $250.
Wow.
Got cheater print. I'm gonna have to hang on for a sec. My dog is like pawing at me to go out.
Okay, well, you know, I can just sit here and make comments. Now, this one I did look at earlier because it is a cheater print, and you guys know I love a cheater print, but probably not enough to buy a quilt made of it. If you guys were here for, well, anybody that's following along with our, you know, with our reading of the Penny McMorris Crazy Quilt book, there's a cheater print, a Crazy Quilt cheater print cloth shown in there. That was, I think, a little quilt made out of it. And I have some of the fabric, and I really love it. And, you know, one of our friends told us, you know, she had made a doll quilt out of it at one point. And Jill recently found a whole quilt made of it. And I'm curious to know, was it actually the back of the quilt? Or was the, you know, the quilt itself, like this, made as a cheater? And I haven't had a chance to research it, just with everything going on. But oh my gosh, this one's gonna go for under 200. This is really surprising, you guys. Wow. Huh. Okay, the other Amish quilt went for a lot. So let's see if we've got that Amish collector that was going after that other one. So these are 6-inch blocks. That's actually small. So 6-inch block is pretty tiny. White diamonds, circa 1920. I thought that said 1920. Maybe I misread it because she's got 1950. I guess this one's not as grand as that Trip Around the World one.
Okay, what did I miss?
Just moved on. That last quilt went for, that cheater print went for $250.
The cheater print went for the same amount as the applique basket.
Mm-hmm. This one's going pretty slow. I guess this one is just isn't. It just doesn't have the cachet that Trip Around the World. Yeah. This one's interesting because that piece at the bottom, and I'm just wondering, is that a case of the die lots, like the other part faded, or did they repair it? Like, why is there that piece at the bottom?
Wow, that one went really
Yeah.
well.
This one's really neat. This is a modern one. Oh, the top was old though. The top was 1920s. Vertical quilts with style. I don't think I know this quilt or this book either. All right, I'm gonna have to look up all the Bobby Ogg books and find out. What am I missing? Have I missed things? What do I do with my pen?
Clearly.
Co-authored books, Vertical Quilts with Style. So she would come up with the patterns for the quilts based on some of her antique tops, like this one. And then in order to,
Because, you know, even if they're just if they're valuation books, I mean, kind of like even that data might be out of date. There's still pictures of quilts, you know, and I always feel like there's something to be gleaned, even if it's just pressing your nose against the picture in the book. This is interesting to think about because, I mean, if you guys have followed Quilt Folk and the Foundry Project, you know, those are old tops, vintage and antique tops that are then being finished. And some of them are priced really high. I mean, for lack of a better word.
I think most of them are.
Yeah. The one I worked on, I mean, I was paid a decent price for, you know, I did big stitch quilting on it. But yeah, what it sold for, I was like, oh. Well, excuse me. Oh, this one's got polka dots. It just dawned on me. We're looking at the same quilt. Oh. Another underestimate.
And we sold it. 170 the
Wow,
Dana
that
auction
one went
today.
cheap.
Yeah.
Here's a real sweet quilt. Vintage 1940s grandmother's fan.
I feel like,
Hand to
you know, and
machine
again,
piece,
this is just,
fan quilted,
you know, probably recency, the recency effect of thinking, but I feel like the quilts from the 30s and 40s, which I have always loved so much. I have a ton of quilt tops from this era. I feel like sometimes, like, they come and go. Sometimes people are just absolutely nuts for them, and
This one's rising steadily.
yeah, sometimes they're so desirable, and then other times they're kind of. I want to say that you may not have caught it. It's a paisley. It's like a red, blue, and green paisley. I think that is a feed sack. I'm pretty sure I have a big piece of it.
275 now, 300, 300, 300. 275 to 300, 300, 300.
Okay,
275.
275.
275 to 300 now, 3 and a quarter. 300 to 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half.
Okay.
3 and a quarter to 3 and a half, 3 and a half.
Wow, what a crowd today.
Three and a half.
Read them for the life of me.
I know. Oh, and there's 87 people on now. A minute ago I looked and there was only 77. So
Well, I wonder if part of what could be drawing more crowd as we get later in are those swatch books.
yeah, there's swatch books and there's also fabric lots. And I gotta be honest, I did have my eye on a couple of those fabric lots, but I don't know that those are in my future.
Top finished in the 1930s, and I'm basing
But you
that finish
finally
date
got a Paragon
because
quilt.
of the backing
Well, I
fabric
have
of that lovely
Number of Paragon
dark
quilts,
lavender,
but
Well, I mean, that
it's the
particular
eagle.
one.
now, you guys, I need the other eagle. The other eagle print. It's not a print. It's the gold one. It came in blue and pink supposedly, or blue and
I think I've
rose.
seen a pink one before.
Yeah, I've only seen the gold one, and Dana has had the gold one twice. The first
I've
time,
never seen a blue one.
yeah, the first time she had the, and I think the gold one was just more predominant. I guess I've seen it multiple places. In fact, the Renwick has one, which is so funny to me that they have this kit quilt, and they don't. I'm thinking they don't know what they have, or they don't care, because it doesn't have any information on it other than, you know, it was made in the 50s and it was donated, and it's in pristine condition, and they know who made it. But so the one that Dana has had, the very first one, I put, you know, an internet bid like a week or two before, like whenever she opened the catalog, and I put the bid on it. And I totally forgot to go back and check, and I got outbid by $25. I was so upset, and it was like $125.
It doesn't tell you, like, you said you forgot to go back and check, like, wouldn't it have told you you'd been outbid?
Yeah, but it was one of those things where I wasn't watching the auction live. I was doing something. I didn't check my email. You know, you really, if you have some skin in the game, and even if you put the internet bids in and you're like at your limit, you know, you still have to pay attention to the fact that the auction is on, or watch your email or something to know.
I'm surprised this one is going as high as it is, just based on it being a top that was completed later. But again,
I haven't been paying attention. Were there any signatures on this one?
yeah, our signatures, yeah.
Oh,
I can't read
500.
people today to save my life, so.
Now this is a very cool quilt.
Number 40.
But anyway, the second eagle went for a lot more, and I was watching that one live, and I just missed out on it. I was like, I hit my cap, and I'm like, I can't. I mean, just budget-wise, I cannot go further
You
than that.
have much better self-control than I do.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of paying the mortgage, y'all. I mean, there comes a point where, I mean, I'm gonna have to go like mine my couch cushion for those extra $25 I spent above my cap. Yeah.
In the catalog, that should be Trapunto. There again is my.
Oh, she's still doing the opening patter. I was like, why? What?
Oh, look, the flowers are like stuffed.
Oh, they are. Oh, interesting. Those are stuffed a lot. Yeah, now see, to me, it's less desirable stuffed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's like a big blob in the middle. I think if each of the petals, maybe if it had been quilted and then each of the petals were stuffed, it might be prettier to me. This is just me.
180, which made 190, 290, 190 now, 200 bid, 200 bid, 200. 200 now, 2 and a quarter. 2 and a quarter now, 2
Okay.
and a half.
It's getting up there.
275, 275, 275, 2 and a half bid, 275. It was very nice to see. Thank you for joining us.
This one's also interesting because it takes the drop into consideration. So the top of the quilt's different than the bottom, and then the sides are meant to. I remember being confused the very first time I saw a quilt that was, you know, asymmetrical for that purpose, and that the blocks were turned on the sides and on the bottom, you know, and I was always like, I don't understand why they make it like that. And I think my mother was like, why do you think? Now let's use some deductive reasoning here. What does that quilt look like on a bed? And I was like, oh, okay.
Pink Trapunto boudoir.
That one's pretty. Oh gosh, was it Eleanor Beard? I think Eleanor Beard Studio made quilts like that. And this would have been earlier than Eleanor Beard, I guess, 1920s. But wow, look at that quilting! Oh. Did she say what the fabric is?
It's acetate.
Okay. Yeah, so satin acetate. Which honestly is not a super lovely fabric. I mean, it's silky, but it's kind of stiff and it doesn't have the hand. Like if you have a beautiful piece of silk, silk satin, you know, that satin weave silk, it's so soft and drapey. Acetate doesn't have that drape. But it's pretty, you know, this looks like it's in really good condition. I mean, I would have something like this on my bed. You know, like a guest bed because it's very slippery.
Just for pretty.
Yeah, just for pretty. It's very slippery. Like I wouldn't sleep under it because it's really slippery. I always wonder, people that have silk sheets, like how do you not just like slither out of bed?
Did I tell you the story about a boyfriend of mine insisting that we buy some? He was like getting new sheets for his bed, and he was like insisting on sateen.
Oh.
And I was like, you don't want that. And he was like, he's Albanian, and they like really fancy looking things. And he kept insisting, and I'm just like, you know, you really don't want that, but whatever, fine. Because it was one of those scenarios where I knew once he got home, I was going to be right. So, he, you know, washes them, puts them on the bed. And he goes to lay down. I gotta pull here. He goes to lay down, right? And he puts his head on the pillow, and the pillow just goes whoop. and then like he like gotten up and he'd like come back to bed, and he like sat on the bed and went to lay down and was trying to like scooch, but he couldn't move, so he just starts like swimming on the sheets, but he's like staying in place.
The only thing I can think of that would be worse is like satin sheets on a water bed. That would be a nightmare, I think. You'd just be like, oh.
Trust me, it was a scenario where I felt very good about that. I told you so.
Yeah. Silky, satiny sheets are just not. Well, but you know, that's the thing though. People that with like super curly hair, I can't remember what that texture is called, but it's like the super curliest, like my son's hair is very like ringlety curly. So he kind of falls in that category of hair texture. It really is helpful to have a satin pillowcase because it doesn't.
It's also good for your skin, too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for your skin, but also that like it doesn't have that what's the word I'm looking for? Like it doesn't like grab at your hair the way that like a cotton pillowcase would.
But now they make bonnets.
Yes, my child has a bonnet. It's great to see him come down like on a Sunday morning with it's a black satin bonnet, and I'm always like, he looks so ridiculous.
Sure, he's thrilled that you're telling everyone.
Yeah, Yeah, but oh yeah, he is so like nuts about his hair. He buys expensive hair care products. He probably spends more on hair care products than he does on his work clothes, and he has to wear like button-down shirt and stuff. Oh, Robin says my mother-in-law always slept with a satin pillowcase after she'd have her hair done. Yeah, I mean you don't. I mean I don't sleep on a satin pillowcase, and you should see what I look like when I wake up in the morning. So yeah, if you're gonna.
Really pretty.
Oh yeah, you know I have a double wedding ring that's kind of similar colors. Mine's just a top though, so
I'm so used to seeing
Yeah.
them like strappy.
mhm.
This one's really, it kind of reminds me of the Candyland board.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, very similar colors. Mine's a little bit more pastel. They're not quite as bright. But I would say mine's probably from the 40s as well.
Well, I didn't realize she's gonna be at this all the live long day. We're only
Yeah, we're only 17%, and we're 2 hours in.
No, we started at 11:30.
Oh, is it more like 11:30? Okay. Oh, I'm going from the perspective of we were supposed to start at 11 o'clock, and it's 1
We
o'clock.
started when she started because she had technical problems too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I think when I went live, she had just started the first
Yeah,
one.
we were at lot like 3.
Ah, there's another double wedding ring.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. We're getting into the wedding ring essential now.
I'd forgotten that there were.
She's got quite a few wedding, maybe like 10.
Yeah, I remember there were a few. I didn't remember. Were they all together on the catalog? Okay, so that one sold for $375. That last one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
I don't really care for this one.
Yeah, I mean this one is very like probably made to match certain decor, maybe. Although those are pretty 30s colors, right?
Yeah, it is. It's circa 1930.
I don't think I have any finished double wedding rings. I'm trying to think. Maybe I have one. Cool dish. Dana sounds like the adults in a Charlie Brown movie. Hers and me again. I still can't hear her. I like literally none of my devices are picking her up. I have my phone and everything.
Oh yeah, her mic is. Yeah, her mic is on the fritz. Yeah, her mic's a little static.
Well, I'm glad it's not just me.
I'm really gonna have to like ask her if this live video feed like does better for her, or if she would do better if it was just, you know, like how Kogachi runs where it's just the live ticking and you don't see a person. Just because like that's a lot of work for her, you know, to be on as well, to be on as a human, right? And then to do that auction call. I mean, I know she generally brings someone else in to trade out with her, but she's 41 lots in doing that auction call. That's a lot.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I mean, we're getting floor bid. So there's somebody there. I mean, I know she doesn't always have like a huge crowd. I think especially since COVID. I feel like before COVID, I mean, her house, I mean, I've seen the stuff that's been written about, you know, with her events. But a lot of them would have like, you know, snacks and drinks and stuff where you come in and hang out and bid.
I don't know that she does big in-person auctions at all.
But I do know that some of unless she says, I know that there have been some that were specifically online only. She does do one. I mean, there are people there. I mean, again, I realize it's not a big crowd. It's not like what you'd see like in those, you know, old-fashioned farm auctions. But I mean, there are people there. So I'm guessing really that's probably what the visual aspect is more about. And now pickle dish.
I guess we'll really have to like ask her.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I love pickle dish. Pickle dish is so much fun.
Because I'm relatively new. Well, I consider myself relatively new to auctions, period. Aside from like an eBay kind of situation. But and I'm super new to like Dana's auctions. I've only really been privy to her stuff for probably what, like the last year maybe.
Yeah, same.
So I definitely wasn't feeling comfortable with auction stuff. Wow, well the people are excited about this one.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, so Quiltish just said I made one small double wedding ring quilt. It was work. It is. It's a lot. There's a lot of piecing in there. I have been working on a double wedding ring and it's very small, like the little footballs. I don't know what else to call them. The little football shapes are only probably 4 inches. They're very small. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of things to put together. And then Pickle Dish is even like twice the work because instead of little not really wedges, but the little parallelograms that are typically in a double wedding ring, you're now got them as little triangles. So there's typically going to be more in there. All right, you guys, I will remember to offer drinks and snacks next time. Is that pineapple pizza, Quiltish? Oh, here comes another one. So that last one sold for more than the first one did, right?
And that one had some condition issues. It had quite a bit of fading in the border. But that's what I mean. Like I can't pinpoint this group of bidders down.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna go for a lot or more than estimated, maybe. Because this one's super scrappy, and those are definitely like desirable collectible prints. I should have brought some water because all I have is coffee.
I mean, that's wet, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't quench your thirst. I don't know. Oh, but wait. It's stalling at 200. This one's pretty. I really like this one. I mean, it's the colors for me and the fact it's scrappy.
Is it gonna reach 300?
Maybe not.
Last call. And we sold it $275.
Ooh, this one's
I like this one.
This one's neat. Yeah, I like this one with that scallopy border.
44. Oh, this is sweet.
It makes it. It gives it more of an X-looking shape than the.
Yes, yes, and it's also a matter of how they're set. You know, are they set like a cross or are they set like an X?
I'm sorry?
She means the staggered. Comprised of 31 rings, staggered. What that means.
140, 150, 150, 160, 160, 160, 160, 170, 170, 170 now, 180, 180.
Okay, people seem to be liking this one. It's getting there.
200, 200, 200. 190's bid now, 200, 200 now, 2 and a quarter. 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half. 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half.
Yeah, I gotta check out that book. She keeps showing the cover of that book, and I'm like, looks like it's interesting. Do you?
2 and a quarter, 2 and a half, 2 and a half now, 275.
It was another one where I probably got it at an antique store for like $1 because dealers cycle out their price guides. You know, like when I found that second
Yeah, you don't have to rub it in.
that state book for the lady prints. Hey, I was there recently because I was putting out ad cards for the vendor mall for a seminar, and I did check that stack again for you.
It was a once in a lifetime. So, that other one only sold for $250. Now look how fast this one's going. And I wonder if it's that blue background is a little bit different.
Well, but the major difference here is the wedding ring goes out into the border border to create the scallop.
Mm.
Where the other one, the border was different.
It was a cut. Okay.
Yeah, see how it goes out in the border?
And that's common for at least the tops I have. They're not cut. They're meant, you know, to have that scallopy border.
I like the quilting.
I like that blue. That blue is really. It almost looks. Oh well, there it went. It almost looks like a chambray. I mean, I don't know if it was, but that's kind of the vibe it gave
We
me.
were really enjoying this one in the preview.
This one's strange, kind of.
1940s. This one has a lot of
Because that intersection where typically you have those little football shapes or the eye shape, it comes to that point, and then typically those points can come together making a four patch. But this is different.
really, really different, folks.
They come together with this interesting like
Yeah, you're right.
concave square.
It's very visually stimulating.
Yeah, and all of those little dots.
It gives pickle dish vibes.
It does. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this though.
I haven't.
What can we start this at? 200 now, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a
Oh.
quarter,
Open
2 and
the
a half.
200.
Oh yeah, somebody wants this one. Oh, Arlene likes this one. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. Out of all of them, this so far is probably my least favorite. I love the colors, and I love things that are. I like dots. I love polka dots, but there's something about this one. I don't know. I don't love the polka dots. Maybe in person, I would love it.
Wow, is this only going to go for 275?
You like that one, but not for that much. Yeah, I feel like this one's got really good fabrics in it, for sure. Okay. No. There it goes.
It's all those people going on there going, oh, okay.
It's unique enough.
I feel like it needed to go for here, like at least 375.
Well, at least it's in the estimated range. I feel bad for the quilts that never make.
We're going 400.
Oh, okay.
I was worried it was either going to go for 120 or $900.
Yeah, I feel bad for the quilts that don't even make the estimated range. You know, I mean, obviously the seller, the auction house, they don't get a very good cut out of it. But it just feels sad for the quilt. Like, oh, nobody wants you as much as they want this other thing.
Hey, Arlene, do you happen to know by any chance how much the auction houses generally take as a commission?
This is one of the
Stuff, do
most
you know?
unique.
I don't.
I have seen, folks.
You know,
50% or something?
I have no idea. I I've kind of always wanted to have a chat with my auction house, but they're always really busy. You know, and I have some things I've thought, I don't want to try and sell, you know, XYZ on eBay or something like that. That's irritating. Yeah. Yeah, Druid said dots are a lot of work. It should bring money because of that. Yeah, that was a lot of needlework.
This wedding ring is cool because of that center 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 patch.
16 patch, yeah. Yeah, so each thing is ending with a 9 patch instead of just a square. So Pickers is 13. Dana's around 18.
No, that's just that's a buyer's premium.
Yeah, but I mean, the buyer's premium is like that is one piece of the auction house's income.
No, I know, but like I think they take more of a cut.
Yeah, I don't know because I mean I just you know I've never been a buyer I'm sorry, a seller. You know, and I'll be honest, I didn't quite understand how auction houses work, and I still don't quite understand like the back end of it. You know, like if you have a collection, obviously Bobby Ogg passed away, so this is her estate, and I'm assuming maybe it's her relatives, or you know whoever's handling her estate would have been the one that contacted Dana or you know put these pieces in there. But I don't know how that works. You know, if you've got something valuable enough to sell, I would say that the auction house might turn you down if it's not something they feel will bring in, you know, a lot of excitement.
I do know that especially for like pickers on Facebook.
Mhm.
I know quite a few dealers who will stick, you know, when they do their quilt sales every now and then. I know some dealers that will stick some quilts in there on top of however else they're selling online.
Mhm.
Like, either they'll throw something in there that's not selling well for them online, or they'll just throw some stuff in for funsies. You know, something they think might do better in an auction.
Yeah, so Arlena's saying buyer's premium is their income. Not sure if they get more.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like someone told me once that they also get a cut of the actual selling.
Yeah, that makes sense to me because I mean, even with super crazy high buyer's premium, you still wonder like how does an auction house stay in business?
Well,
For example, that shaker box that you showed me the other day, you guys. I don't know what auction that was, but Jill sends me the other. We'd already decided we were doing this, so we're kind of talking auctions, and she sends me. And it was like shaker. So if you know what shaker boxes look like, they're that it's very thin bent wood and it's very beautiful boxes. And they made these really cool sewing baskets and boxes too. And would have a handle and then stuff inside, like little accessories and stuff inside. One of them went for $24,000. That was not a typo. $24,000, and the other one was $26,000. And I was like, what? And then we calculated the buyer's premium, and that's another question I had, which is is buyer's premium, no matter how much comes in as the at the auction price, is the buyer's premium always whatever?
there was a cap.
Right, like if you bought something for $26,000 and the buyer's premium is 18% or 20%, is it 18 or 20% all the way up to that $26,000, or is it 18% for like the first 5,000 or something like that? I don't know, but calculating a $26,000 auction sale with the full-blown premium put on there was like, what did you come up? It was like 30 something. It was $36,000 or 30 some thousand dollars.
Quilters just said there's
A seller's premium.
So
Yeah.
that's probably what I'm thinking of, is like the extra added on.
Right. Yeah.
Because, for example, like the quilt that I bought here today with Dana, that I got for $650, the premium on it is $117. So if she made, at least $117 on that quilt
Right.
for the work that they did, photographing it and appraising it and like all that crap. Well, not appraising it, but you know what I mean. But I feel like they have to make something on the other side too, or it's just wouldn't be enough to sustain.
Right.
But no, the reason I'm asking is because I'm just sitting here thinking like, maybe I should stick some quilts in Dana's next quilt auction.
Well, I don't know if you were paying attention at the top. She said she's not taking any more quilts till 2025.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was sitting on so many. Or maybe she's just got all her sales figured out for the rest
Yeah,
of the
I mean,
year. Think about it. If she's not taking any until 2025, that's not that far away.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Quilters is saying seller's premium 5 to 15%.
Now, if you're adding that on top of the buyer's premium, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
She's booked up. Yeah, that makes sense to me. But yeah, I could potentially yak with her, because I'm thinking if potentially I was like maybe gonna put some quilts in her next auction, maybe she'd let me bring them to her at seminar.
Ooh, I love this one. This one's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. This is one of the ones where, because of the shape of the footballs, it ends up being almost squarish. Like they're more squared off than round.
The starting bid was $45.
And this is a really lovely one. Like I would consider bidding on this if I hadn't already. It's creeping up
This
slow.
one reminds me of the one that's on the cover of that Gerald Roy exhibit book.
I'm drawing a blank on that. There comes a point when you've seen so many things you can't pinpoint.
Is this one really gonna go for like $130?
Wow. I think so. Unless somebody swoops in.
140 now, 150 going once.
No, I swooped in at 130.
150 going twice. Last call. And we sold it. 140.
Okay, 140 bucks.
Oh, what is
This
going
one
on?
is so busy, you like can't
No,
even
but it's Oh, okay. I know what this one is. This one's got the rabbit. Now oh, look at the back. Oh, so cute. Now I have one that's kind of like this. Mine's not quite as busy because I think there's more repetition of the same fabric, but mine has like a circus scene in that like background. But it's this kind of like, and I think mine is feet sacks. It's their circus themed feet sacks. And I got it from Cindy Clay Camp.
Did you get that when we were in Kentucky?
Yeah. Yep.
Why don't I remember that?
I don't know. I want to say the night that I bought it, I think we had been in the vendor area, and I think you might have left.
Was that the night that I was with Michelle?
Maybe. Possibly, yeah. And then I ended up, I ended up buying it, I think, after you left. Now, to me, this one should be desirable because it's feed sacks and it's bunnies. Usually, like the juvenile print stuff, people really like.
Well, this one's going for more than the last one did.
Yeah, but not as much as I thought it would. I thought it would get up there close to the high estimate. Wow. Okay. Maybe it was too busy.
Yeah, for me, it was too busy. I couldn't even see the wedding ring.
Good condition with a few small spots and minor edge.
I feel like it would have been so much better if they were like really want to use that bunny backing to do a solid
colors. Yeah.
This one's interesting.
Yeah, that stripe fabric is cool.
It's making it look very.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of movement.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me when, people picked stuff like this and you're like, that was a brilliant choice. Makes it look so cool, so much movement.
Who stuck this at, Kathy? 90 now, 100, 100, 110, 110, 110, 110, 110, 110, 110, cheap.
Now, these double wedding rings have been going for a pretty good clip, but also I'm feeling bad for them. And I'm wondering if it's the same bidder that's snagging them.
Maybe.
Yeah. I always wonder that.
Like the last one we did with that Maryland auction and all those quilts made by that one.
Yes,
woman.
the housekeeper. Yeah.
And someone was bidding the toot out of them to get all of them.
And I think that person might have been there locally. I think we figured that out. I could be wrong, but I feel like that person was there in the room. And yeah, they were snagged, and those quilts were. I mean, I think overall that auction was made them a lot of money. But yeah, the quilts that had been made by that housekeeper that they had, like the family had rescued from the trash. Each of those went for quite a bit, and they were very cool quilts.
Ooh, I like what? That last one only went for 160?
Here's a great quote.
I wasn't paying attention. Damn it.
Sorry. Here's the question. Do you want to hang out with us and listen to us talk over it, or do you want us just to shut up so that you can bid?
This one's in the Colorado documentation.
And now, I don't like this because of the colors.
Do we don't like the browns?
Yeah, it just doesn't do much for me.
The thing that stinks is a lot of that brown often doesn't survive very well.
Yeah.
This is one of those scenarios. Look at that, we're starting at 325?
And see, that's the thing, like this, and she doesn't have a date on this one. Did she say a date? Did I miss it?
She said vintage.
Yeah, see, I mean, the fabrics are throwing me. But this should not be, like, that old. I mean, what double wedding ring and pickle dish really were not patterns until the early 20th century, I think.
Well, that one only had the one lot and it went for 325.
Wow. Now this one.
double
It's
wedding
very
ring
pretty.
crook.
Bridget said, don't underestimate the power of earth tones.
Hand quilted, hand applique.
Even when they look garbagey.
The small discoloration.
This one's interesting. The
This one
border
has
is
a
very unique.
sawtooth edge.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that. It's like a little sawtooth border. Oh, it says that. Applique sawtooth border.
For this
Duh.
because curved piecing isn't difficult
That's
enough. but
very
you have to do all
interesting.
These little points.
I don't
on
know
the
that I've
edges
seen
here.
one like that before.
Really, really cool. What can we start this at?
Yeah, I think those, I mean, I guess I personally have seen a few of those, that sawtooth border applique situation. What a lot of work. Like, that is a lot of work to do that, but how pretty is it? You know, it's really just an interesting piece for them to add to that quilt. And it has nothing to do with the rings, really. It's just a design decision. The power of earth tones. Well, and you know, that's the thing. I just am not an earth tone person. So I'm never going to be attracted to stuff like that. This one's creeping up there, but I would like to hold this one up against the other ones that to me looked almost identical. Did they sell for the same price? Like, this one should be a little bit more valuable, I guess, because of that border. But
I mean, to me it makes it a little more exciting. But I guess sometimes what I find exciting is not what other people find exciting.
this is true. Yeah, so I did the math. I think Dana made like $60 off me. The quilts I bought.
Well, and then calculate what the seller's premium would be.
That's what I did. I calculated. Oh, the seller's premium?
Do
Wow.
the buyer's premium and then the seller's
Yeah,
premium.
so the buyer's premium,
Let's say it's 15% for the seller's premium.
yeah, so the buyer's premium was $58.50.
Double wedding ring quilt. This one
Let's
is
see.
against that yellow print ground. Boy, oh boy, is that something. We've got a lot of feet sag prints in here. This
And so
is
$48.75
hand
if
quilted, good
the
condition.
seller's
They
premium
feel
is
loud
15%.
response. I'm not seeing them on this side. Let's see if we can find a large spot. There we go.
So she would have made 100 and if assuming that calculation is correct, she would have made $106.95 off of my sale.
Okay, so if what did you say, 100 and what?
$106.95 if I did my math right.
Alright, I'm just gonna average 120. Obviously some things will go a lot higher and some things will be lower, but if we just average that, right, with times the 237 lots in here, and that's obviously a low average, that's almost 28,500. So that sounds about right. Like,
I don't even know.
to make a big chunk of it
Yeah,
like that,
yeah, for one day's work, which, well,
it's more than one day.
yeah, I was gonna say, don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand. I know there's a lot more work in there. There's all the photography and all the stuff, but you know, the actual money making part of it is only however many hours this auction is today. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know how long does it take her staff to put together the catalog. I'm interested in that. I know what my local auction house does, and you know, it's a lot of work. They have it's funny. There's two auction houses I've kind of paid attention to what they do, and typically they will have. Oh, now this one, the colors on this one are interesting. So
I feel like there's like a black coming through, or is it that deep blue?
I think it's a deep blue. It's like almost indigo-ish.
But doesn't it kind of like probably look like a morning print?
Oh, yes, in the four patch. I was looking at the. I can't tell. I haven't seen a picture close up enough.
That looks like it is.
Yeah.
That would be the first I've ever seen a morning print.
So my local auction, the one auction house, they'll have all this stuff that is in the current auction, and it is all labeled with like orange. And then the upcoming auction will be labeled with like green. And so when you go in there, they're all on those big metal racks. And I'm sorry, what?
The Z-Rails?
Is that what those were called?
That's what they were called when I worked in retail.
Oh, no. They're not the retail ones. They're the ones that you often will find in like kitchens and stuff. It's not a speed rack, but it's something kind of like, I actually have a few of them just for home storage. But yeah, it's like a metal chrome kind of stuff.
Oh, like for your laundry?
Kind of.
Straight bar?
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, they can be tall. And in any event, they have like a million of those. And, you know, they're pulling them in and out. And so they have this back room, I guess, where they're photographing everything. And as they photograph, they'll bring them out. And, you know, you can always peruse them. I don't think they love it when you peruse the auction that's done. Because I guess they have some liability there if, you know, you 5-finger discounted something and, like, the person who actually won it comes to pick it up. That would be horrible. I would be so upset. But yeah, the stuff that's going up for auction, you can look at it, and they're constantly bringing it out. But it takes them, I would say it's probably a couple weeks to get it all, or, you know, 2 weeks maybe, because they're doing back-to-back auctions all the time.
Yeah.
But in any event, yeah, they have a whole staff, and it's also, you can tell the one auction house does. It's like one person is doing the photographing and you know, lot descriptions for the small stuff, you know, like little box lots and like paper ephemera and like, you know, things like that. A different person does all the entries for like paintings, furniture, all that stuff. But their numbering system, the one person uses the evens and the other person uses the odds. So when you look at the total catalog when it's done, you'll see like lot 100 will be a quilt. Lot 101 will be a painting. Lot 102 is a quilt. Lot 103 is a painting.
I have to say, it definitely bugs me when they don't have like items grouped together in sequential order.
Yeah.
But I could see why that could be a problem.
Yeah, and I think particularly for auction houses that do a bunch of stuff on every auction, whereas Dana, like, this is a quilt and textiles auction. And then she'll do like the toys, the vintage and antique toys auction, and I think sometimes that one has like, I don't know, jewelry. I don't know. She's had the vintage clothing auction. This one's kind of cool.
I've got to be honest though, like I'm kind of over wedding rings at this point.
I know. They're starting to all look the same. That yellow and purple border, I have a Sue quilt. I don't think I bought it from you.
Luckily, the next quilt is not a double wedding. It looks like we're done with the double wedding rings. Ooh, that goblet quilt's coming up.
Oh, the goblet. I forgot about that one. What lot is that?
That is lot 61.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting into different things now. Oh, that really neat, like, house on a hill quilt is coming too. Ooh, and another star.
I'm looking at the clock going, Cake is gonna need another drink and a bio break in a minute.
I was gonna say, by all means, turn your camera off, take a break.
Yeah, I might have to hand it off to you for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom soon, so you go ahead and take a break.
Oh yeah, how much the swatch books? Yes, absolutely, Arlene. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, they always save the swatch books till the end.
Oh, this is another pink
Another
boudoir.
one of those boudoir quilts.
This one doesn't look quite as. This one's not made out of the satin. I don't think that, or I don't know though. It looks kind of shiny. Maybe not acetate. So.
This is really nice. What can we start this off at? 60 to 70 to 70 to 70, 60 to 70. Now we did 90 to 90.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
This one's sateen.
110 and 110 and 110. 110, now it's 20, now 140, 140, 140, 130, 140, 140, 140, 130, would you bid 140? Could you give 140? Could you go 140? 130, 140, 140, 140, now 150, 150, 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, would you bid 160? Could you give 160? Could you go 160? 150, it's so soft. 150, 160, 160, 160, 150, 160, 160, 160, all in, all done. 150 now, 160 in time, 160, 170, 170, 170, 170, 170, 180, 180, 180, 170, 180, 180, 180. 180 now, 190, 190, 190, 180, 190, 190, 190, 190 now, 200, 200, 200. 190, would you bid 200? Could you give 200? Could you give 200? 200 now, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter. 2 and a quarter now, 2 and a half. 2 and a quarter, but 2 and a half, but 2 and a half, but 2 and a half. 2 and a quarter, but 2 and a half. 2 and a half, but 275. 2 and a half, but 75, but 75, but 75. 2 and a half, but 275. 2 and a half, but 75, but 75, but 75. All in, all done. 2 and a half, but 275 going once. 2 and a half, but 275 going twice. Last call. And we sold it 200. Went to live on yours. Lot number 60, we have the 1930s House on the Hill. Yeah, it is hand pieced, hand appliqued, hand broidered, hand quilted. It is in fair condition with several spots and overall edge wear. The edging is definitely worn pretty much consistently around the whole perimeter of the quilt. What can we start this at? 60 bit 70 bit 70 bit 70 60 bit 70. Unique pattern, folks. I think this is only the second one like this that I've seen. 60 bit 70 bit.
I'm back. Uh-oh.
80 bit 80 bit 80 70 bit 80.
Uh-oh.
Geez, when you left, it looks like you cut me out.
How did it? How?
I have no idea.
I turned off my mic for a sec. How about now, you guys? Can you hear her now? Can you hear me?
I can hear me now.
That is weird.
I think it's because you turned your mic off.
Are you? And that makes me wonder. Are you coming through my mic and not my desktop audio?
I guess I'm coming through your mic.
Oh,
If Kira was being all witty.
well, see, that's the thing. I could hear you. I could hear you from the other room. That was just a Coke Zero, not a beer. Yeah, you know, and of course, it's this microphone. I love my microphone. This is a very good, high quality microphone, but alas, it decides that it's going to do what it's going to do. So did I hear you say you'd never seen House on the Hill before?
No, I haven't seen this.
I have. It's a
Now my volume is quite low. Why are you breaking stuff?
I see why.
Is a 1950s vintage
Here's the goblet quilt.
Okay.
Okay, what?
How is your volume now? Nope. They're not hearing you at all.
What are you doing?
A little bit earlier. But this is like the first one I've seen in person.
Not a PBR.
120, 130, 130.
And sadly, the PBR cans don't have rebuses. It is an odd choice for a quilt motif, right? I mean,
Unless you have like a King Arthur themed, kitchen, something, and you're gonna hang it on the wall. People seem excited about it.
yeah, I mean, it's actually very cool construction, you know? So, okay, Druid's saying your volume is good now. It's been low the whole time. And that makes sense to me. I actually can bump that up a little bit. Let's see if that's...
So that one is your
2.5 now, 275.
Stop blaming me.
2.5 at 75 at 75 at 75.
sounded
2.5 at 275.
Yeah, well.
2.5 at 75 at 75
Alright,
at
I'm
75.
gonna
All
take a potty
in.
break.
275 now,
Don't touch
300.
anything.
275
I will
at
not.
300, 300. 275 at 300 going once.
Yeah, I'm wondering with this
275
goblet
at
quilt, I'm wondering
$300
if this
going
was a case
twice.
of the person
Last
who made
call.
it maybe discovering, oh my gosh, when you
Now we
put
set
like
to
that bow tie
$100
block together with
that
just a
you
plain
do
block
the
and then
Dana
set them on
Auctions
point
there.
and yada yada.
All right, this is a really, really cool find, folks.
It brought up
This
the
is an
all volume of the
antique
auction, but not Jill.
1847
Of course.
friendship quilt, I believe from Long Island,
Okay,
New York.
let me, a little
Hand-pieced,
adjustment here.
hand-inked,
I think I might know where Jill's
hand-quilted.
adjustment is.
Many of the center squares
Let's see,
are hand inked with a
speaker,
signature and the date
da-da-da-da.
1847. And
me
Eaton's
try
Neck,
that.
Long Island, which is in New
I
York.
put her back on my
These are
headphones, so when
fabric
she comes
issues,
back, we'll have to.
fabric deterioration along the perimeter, fabric deterioration in the
Oh, and
texture of
guess
the
what?
fabric,
I'm hearing Dana again.
edgeware,
Remember,
soft
Dana had cut out for me?
Wonderful, wonderful.
I tell you what,
antique
guys.
fabrics in this quilted compression
I'm ready to throw a
sheets and
computer out the
more.
window.
And Eaton's Neck, Long Island is a very small inlet in New York. I can't imagine a whole lot of quilts came out of it. Yeah, she fussy cut. Yeah, she fussy cut her what do you call it, the print, so it beamed down the center of that sashing.
So the
Really, really
fabric
cool.
on this one
You
is
can see the
really
signature
cool.
here, Eaton's Neck, Long Island, really, really cool, folks. What can we start this at? 200, not 2 and 4, 200, not 2.
Oh, and this one does have signatures. Nice. Yeah, this is really old. 1847.
275 would have been 300.
Now, if this goes for less than that Sunbonnet Sue, as they say, I'm going to eat my hat. What?
I know it has conditions, but it's a really great piece of history.
Okay, all right. The Microsoft update debacle, yes. I'm sure that's what it is. I think I'm going to reboot my computer after this. I didn't do a hard reset, so.
3 1/4 all in, all done. 3 1/4 bit 3 1/2 going once. 3 1/4 bit 3
Yeah,
1/2 going twice.
You cannot explain to me how a quilt, a friendship quilt with signatures from 1847 went for less than a kind of ugly Sunbonnet Sue quilt.
Number 63, antique 19.
It's just my opinion, though.
Set medallion sampler quilt. Hand-pieced, hand-quilted.
Oh, you got it!
Edition with only a few
Congratulations.
So
I'm glad it went somewhere good, and you got a good deal.
And then smaller blocks all around it. You've got some bear paws, you've got some 16 patches, you've got some grandma's pride. Got a whole bunch of different, got some geese back there. What can we start this at?
This one.
30, 120, which has been 130, 50, 130.
This one is kind of odd. I mean, it's cool because it's a sampler. I don't know if I love the colors because, you know, you kind of got this like really strong like burgundy red, and then you have these more washed out colors. And I mean, I think that's probably a product of the 1920s, like contemporary fabrics and then older fabrics maybe.
2 1/4, 2 1/4, 200, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 200, 2 1/4, all in, all done. 200, 2 1/4 going once.
Wow, this is so interesting, right? Right, Robin? It's an interesting crowd. They are not loving these super old quilts. I don't know. I think this one maybe. No, maybe not.
2 1/2 going twice. Last call.
Wow. Okay, that one went under estimate too. Wow.
Lot number 64. Vintage 1930s grandmother's flower garden quilt. Believed to be from Kentucky. Hand-pieced, hand-quilted. Fair condition with some splits in the black fabric along the perimeter and the center fold. So the dyes kind of make the fabric a little weak. It does look like wool, but it's all cotton. Yeah, it's all cotton. Really great quilt, very graphic.
Condition is usually an issue. Yeah, I understand that, you know, with the really old stuff. I get it. I guess collectors, well, and dealers too, probably have to consider, you know, old versus old and rare versus, you know, the having to conserve or be very careful with it. I know I have one or two quilts, they're crazy quilts, that I can't display. Chill.
300 bid 3 1/4 going once. 300 bid 3 1/4 going twice. Last call. And we sold it 300
Huh.
bid 2. Auctions bidder. Lot number 65.
This one's fun, the string pieced quilt.
We're switching clerks.
Yeah, I like that grandmother's flower garden. I like the black border. I think those are the ones that have that like really strong solid color border are pretty neat.
Good condition, with just
Okay,
one
Jill, we
mistake.
did not need to know what Winnie's up to.
Lots of feed sack prints in your
I'm
book.
sorry, her tummy's not well though.
Diamond shade. I like that. What can we start this at? 140, 150, 150, 150, 140, 150, 150, 150, 140.
I mean, this is like, this is improv, really. You know, these string blocks, and then how they've set them.
150, would you bid 160, could you get 160, could you go 160? 150, 160, 160. I think that's pretty cheap for that, folks. That's a really cool string quilt. Possibly, I mean, with the Baptist fan.
Ah, Baptist fan?
That might be southern. 160 now, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 170, all in, all done. 160 now, 170 going once. 160 now, 170.
I know she just said this, that, you know, the Baptist fan, it might be a southern quilt. I've always heard that. And, oh my gosh, look at this one.
Lot number 66 will be a 1945 Lone Star with satellite star quilt.
Oh.
This quilt is hand-pieced, hand-quilted, and it is in good condition with just a few small spots. Oh my God, look at all the piecing on this star.
Yeah,
folks.
this one is wild.
Holy cow. That is, look at that. Good job, Matt. That is
Yeah. So I lost my
amazing.
train of thought before what I was saying before this.
What can we start this at? 3.5 at 75. At
Wow,
75, at
okay.
3.5 at 375. 375 now, 400.
Oh, that's an
375
interesting
400,
border.
400. 375 at 400. 375 at 400 at 400 at 400. 375 at 400. 375 at 400 still 400. 375 at 400 at 400 at 400, all in, all done. Very graphic too when it's hanging up. 375 at 400, 400 now, 4 1/4. 4 1/4 now, 4 1/2. 4 1/4 at 4 1/2 to 4 1/2 to 4 1/2.
Oh, look at this one.
4 1/4 at 4 1/2 to 4 1/2 to 4 1/2, all in, all done. 4 1/4 at 4 1/2 going once. Very graphic, very modern aesthetic. 4 1/4 at 4 1/2.
Yeah, she's right. That is a very modern aesthetic. Very scrappy.
And we sold it 400.
Wow. I feel like you don't see very many of those that are like a star that's that scrappy.
We have 2 for 1 money.
Hey, Steph.
Yeah?
2
Remember I told you about those cannoli chips?
Yes. Oh, oh. Okay, yeah. Those look very familiar. Oh, and the dip.
Yeah.
Now, what grocery store does this come from?
This we've gotten it in multiple grocery stores.
Oh, okay.
The company is Golden Cannoli.
Okay, all right. Those do
So-
look like the same cannoli pieces that are in the ones that they sell at Wawa.
So see how it's like a chip.
Yeah. Right. I think that's probably, that might be the same that they have at Wawa. And it is very
Yeah, and
delicious.
Uh-huh.
Now, see, you're making me hungry because I have some leftovers in the fridge. I just need to heat them up. But that's an ordeal. I'll be away from my desk too long. So what did you miss? What you missed is Arlene snagged a quilt
Really?
for it was an 1847 friendship quilt that had 1847. It was dated. It was signed. It had names on it. Went for less than that ugly Stu quilt.
Wait, which lot was it?
I can't remember. It was a couple lots ago. It was 60 something. Yeah, way less. Way less.
2 1/4 bit, 2 1/2 bit, 2 1/2 bit, 2
I think it went for like half of what that
2
Sue
1/2
quilt
bit,
went for,
75.
maybe a little more
I
than
missed
half.
the star quilt. It went for $425.
That one was really cool.
275, could you give 275, could you go 275, all in, all done. 2 1/2 bit, 275 going once. 2 1/2 bit, 275 going twice. Last call. And we sold it $250.
Now, you know, she often puts those like big sellers up front. But I think that first quilt was estimated between like 1 and 2,000 or 2,000 and something. But it's always
It went
interesting.
for like $1,200.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me to see the participants. They do incrementally tick up as the time goes by. And I mean, maybe it's because they are the ones that are more interested in those swatch books and stuff at the end. I don't know.
Well, because now notice the participants have gone up to 93.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It
Like,
first started, it was like 59 people.
and then I noticed it went up to like 77. Then it was 87. Ah, so in the book, the Sue quilt went for the range listed in 2002. So I'm wondering if that's kind of where Dana is kind of getting some of the estimates from, looking at that 2002 estimate. Would that be valid, Arlene? Like, would that make sense to how she would put those estimates on there? Not necessarily making them the same, but that might be a factor.
I don't know, because it really depends on what the market is
Well,
currently doing.
exactly. I mean, that's what's crazy to me. I mean, we've talked about some of those prices in the 90s that, you know, we would expect to see today, and we don't.
Well, like you said, I mean, you've single-handedly made people interested in Sue's again. So if you weren't buying Sue's, then maybe that Sue wouldn't have gone very well.
Well, you know, I have some very good Sue's, and which I think I got for like really decent prices. And now I'm seeing not so good Sue's. You know, the condition and workmanship, like you're saying, not good in some of them. But they're still trying to sell them for that much. Oh, that one's neat. There's a little anchor print in there.
Are there any of these double lots that you're interested in?
No, I don't think I saw anything. Scroll on the not so good ones. Yeah, I'll be honest. I have not seen a Sunbonnet Sue quilt in a while that I was really like, gotta have it. Now I haven't been looking real hard right now just because my budget's not there, but and I, you know, I just keep seeing kind of the same old thing.
Yeah, and well, now you've been focusing more on those like really bizarre looking ones.
Well, I've always focused on the bizarre. I mean, some of my, Mushroom Head Sue might be one of my favorites. You know, it's so, and then that poor sad, like, I don't know, Girl Scout Project Sue, which looks like somebody sewed it with their feet. It was so bad. I bought it for like $10 or $12. This is a good schoolhouse quilt. I really like this one too. Oh, it's got the little flange. I have a schoolhouse that has that. Mine's not in good condition, but it does have that little flange thing there.
Wow, the starting bid on that's gonna be $450.
You think so? Or you know?
I know. I'm looking at the catalog.
Oh,
the
okay.
bid is $450.
Yeah, from my view, I can't see. So,
The one after that, which is an Irish chain, a triple Irish chain, the leading bid $600.
yeah, there we go, $450. You know, I know the Iowa Quilt Museum had that schoolhouse quilt or house quilt show that I think was it all Julie Silber's quilts? I can't remember, or did she curate it?
Say that again. Which place?
Remember the Iowa Quilt Museum, and this is last year, late last year. They had that really great. So it was her and her friends. That show was so awesome. Okay, so she curated it,
and we sold
but I
it.
know a lot of it
And
were
we
her quilts.
went to a Dayton Whiskey bidder.
So she
She
curated
did,
and borrowed.
I'm glad she got it.
I highly doubt anybody ever
Mat
says
number
no, Julie, you
71.
can't borrow
So
my
this
quilt.
is-
So
this is
she
a
had some
very interesting
awesome
quilt.
schoolhouse quilts in there. I just loved that
I'm
show.
calling it a triple Irish chain. It could also be a postage stamp because even this is all pieced. Okay, it is machine pieced, hand quilted. Style is very similar to Amish quilts. Polyester batting. The edge has that prairie point finish. really
Especially if she
old
sold it to you, exactly.
And I think this is a
You buy a
current
quilt from
quilt.
Julie. Well, I say you buy a
Arts
quilt from any
quilts.
dealer if they're gonna
Arts
if they're gonna
quilts
curate something.
in
I'm sure
this
that they
country,
call in those
States.
favors when they need to.
And even though
I would certainly lend quilts back to Jill if she ever curated Sunbonnet Sue.
that where the label was. So I think this was a hard
Yes,
quilt.
you would.
And we disclosed that from the very beginning, and there's been like a minor bidding war going
When the New
on.
England Quilt Museum decides to
Where can we start
to
this
do
out?
a Sunbonnet Sue show,
600 now, 6.5.
Pam Weeks would probably rather be
600,
dead than.
700, now 800.
Yowza! Now this,
800 bid
What?
8.5, bid 8.5, bid 8.5.
she only had 100 to 200 value on this, and it already started at 600.
Well, I told you it started at
500.
650
Or
or 600 or
650.
whatever.
Yeah, I can't see this little.
800 bid 8.5 going once.
Yeah, and I'd like to know like
8.5
what
going
what
twice.
was informing a $100 to $200 estimate for her.
The colors.
Sold it.
Quilter's
don't
just
know.
thinking the colors, maybe.
That went through a big
Now this
auction
is an
bid.
interesting quilt. This has got like an optical illusionness going on. You know, up close, it looks a little busy, but then you pull back from it, and it's got that like almost right. It's almost like they're receding into that.
Yeah, it's
and in
very
good condition,
interesting.
No issues noted. I think this is
It gives me a lot of cactus
Yeah,
vibe
yes.
because of the
Mhm.
colors.
maybe we could have gotten more money for it if it was on its side and not upright.
I mean, if you close one eye and
Design too. Lots of
get Ray back from it,
angles here.
you get like a
Great
Nancy Crow
design,
vibe, kind of. You
angles,
know,
and
some of those studio art
really,
quilt.
really unique pattern. What can we start this off with, Jake? 120, 130, 130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 130, 130, 140, 150, 160, 160 now 170.
Yeah, this is another one. If I had
170, 170,
an unlimited budget, I think I would bid on this one because this one's really unique.
Mhm.
It's got like a really really cool graphic look to it from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
My allergies have been killing me. I took an Aleve sinus and cold.
It's like that song from a distance. This quilt looks really cool. And my wallet's gonna cry.
You guys didn't know you were gonna get serenaded today too. Orlean says I have a stack of quilted Sues whose borders are trashed, so I'm going to put it back together, potholder style, by binding each block. Yeah. Oh, with vintage feet sack. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest. I love a potholder quilt.
I was gonna say, Arlene, if you make it potholder style, Pam Weeks is probably gonna want some pictures.
Lounge singer.
Really? Is this really gonna go for under the estimate? I'm actually surprised this is not flying.
Yeah. I mean, the colors are so interesting. So.
Well, and especially the point that she like points out that it's a rare pattern. Considering how many people fall for the word rare in a scenario where it is not rare.
Yeah, I feel like we can trust Dana a little more with the term rare.
She almost never uses that.
I think she's a very very knowledgeable, honest.
I think
you know,
she's very
auctioneer.
conservative with a lot of her descriptions instead of people that go bananas like
Right.
Amish Mennonite.
Rare
touched
Amish
by-
Mennonite, all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ethical,
touched
yes.
by Jesus quilts. Like,
George Washington slept under it.
yeah, like,
And it's a
some of the-
grandmother's flower garden, grandmother's fan / duffel wedding ring.
Yeah, or it's like a Chinese import, and they're like super rare handmade quilt.
I know. You know, and I often wonder, is it lack of ethics or is it just complete ignorance? And I think
I
sometimes
think
it's a
little
combination
column
of the
A,
two.
a little column B.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 bit 50. We're still working with Bobby's quilts, folks. These are still all for Bobby's collection.
True. That optical illusion should be bringing dineros. This is why my faith suffers. And all the adjectives add more commas to the price. Yeah, yeah. Arlene is saying ignorance. Yeah. I mean, and I think that is a lot of times, especially, you know, dealers and auctions that don't handle quilts very often. And, you know, they go out there looking for comps. I mean, you know, I think unless there's people that are super knowledgeable. I mean, Dana's super knowledgeable. She's still, I'm sure, is looking around to get those correct estimates. But, yeah, the things people put out there. And what was that quilt, Jill, that I think I showed you? It was a really, really cool quilt, but it was nothing to write home about. It was they were cats. They were cats that were appliqued onto just like a black backing and then, you know, put together. And it was a very striking quilt. It was very pretty, but it couldn't have been, you know, as far as market value, couldn't have been more than a couple $100. And they wanted like like $1,500 for the quilt or something. It was something absurd. And
why am I having like a complete memory loss?
I think I showed you in passing at some point, maybe when we were at Adamstown or something. And this one is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, this is an interesting pattern. I know I've seen this before. I mean, this is like a
very complex pattern and rare for this scale. Hands machine piece.
I have a quilt kind of like this with like these like, you know, kind of O's on it, but they're like solid. They don't have all that patchwork in them.
What can we
yeah,
start this at?
yeah. So anyway, this cat quilt, they offered it to me like for 50% off, which was still like $800, and I was like, no, thank you. I'll just take a picture of it. You know, I screenshotted it just as inspiration for myself. You know, not like I'm showing it off or anything, but you know, I kept thinking like I can make this quilt. It's obviously a vintage pattern, but yeah, and I just kind of wonder, where do people come up with this stuff? You know?
So did you like write them back and say, look, I know you're offering this to me for like $300, but
No.
Can you offer it to me that you pay me $300? And
Well, no, I mean, it was a very cool quilt. It was in decent condition, so it was worth some money, just not $800 or $1,500. Yeah, I just couldn't wrap my head around that, and I think they had folk art in the title. That was the other thing. You know, I think folk art is a buzzword, just like Amish Mennonite.
mm-hmm.
Aw,
2.5 bid 275 going once.
I feel this one alone
75 going twice.
deserves more than that.
Last call.
Well, now we know why she was selling two together.
Yeah,
Before I put you on the mic, Kathy, I want
These
to get
crib
the
quilts
other
are cool.
headset working for you.
yeah. The Amish one is pretty neat with the two baskets.
I like that one with the crocheted border on it.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it a try. Lot number 75. Right? Yep, okay. Two 1920s crib quilts. We have an Amish crib quilt, machine piece, hand quilted, fair condition. with a
Nobody
small
pre-bid
spot
on
and
these
some
ones.
edgeware,
Hmm.
along with a white whole cloth crib quilt, hand quilted, hand crocheted edge, which is stunning. Good condition with a few small spots. The quilting on this crib quilt is absolutely stunning, with crosshatch waves and cable motifs.
Is she
Really,
saying
really
anything
nice,
that's a reason
folks.
why you think
Really
no
nice.
one
What
would
can
bid
we
on
start
these?
this at?
Mm-mm.
Cheap, 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 folks. 45 and now 50.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
70, 60, 90.
Oh, there we go.
101, 130, 130, 130.
Yeah, it took a minute for it to kick in. I'm guessing that Amish quilt is bringing in the.
61, 150, would you bid 160? Could you give 160? Could you go 160? I don't think you even bought this yet. 160 now, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 170, 160, 180, 180, 180, 170, 180, 180, 180. 170, would you bid 180? Could you go 180? Could you go 180? 170.
We're gonna start to get into the modern stuff here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that we might wrap things up with the modern ones. Just we're going into, well, 3 hours since I sat down. So,
180 now, 190 going twice.
oh, Arlene, yes. So Arlene is saying she set up in a country store called Peacemakers 4 times a year for appraisals. Yeah, I think I remember you. It's for the California documentation stuff. And everyone thinks their quilt is museum worthy. Yeah, Jill, you get that too, right? When people come into the museum and they wanna sell their quilt, or they wanna donate or sell their quilt to the museum, and the museum people are like, sorry, this is an import, or sorry,
Well, or you know what happens is you get a lot of phone calls with people that don't know what to do with stuff, and then they tell you that they have this like really, really rare quilt, and we're like, you know, over the phone, just describe it to us, and then they tell us a crazy quilt. Like, but it's super rare. It's not.
Well, you know, that's the thing about crazy quilts. So I think people that are not super knowledgeable, they look at them and they realize, like, there are no 2 crazy quilts that are alike. Crazy quilts are like fingerprints. Even a person that, well, and we discovered that sometimes there were pieces that people copied what they saw. Like the crazy quilt was published in some kind of thing, or there was a pattern published, which was really supposed to be inspiration, but people actually made it like that. But they're still all different. And I think people look at that and think, oh, one of a kind, you know, what is that? Ook? Or ook? I just remember eBay. OOAK. OOAK. One of a kind. But I think what they don't understand, and which I already knew some, but learned much more from Penny McMorris's book, is that, you know, I mean, they're almost like, I think in some ways, I mean, I think about like, what are things that have been, okay, so, okay, crazy quilts are not as like, what's the word I'm looking for, crafty as, say, those blankets. Remember that, you know, those Polar Fleece no-sew blankets where you buy 2 big pieces of Polar Fleece, you know, like this, like a throw sized, and then you make clips all the way around the edge and you knot them together. So you have this 2-sided, and like my father-in-law has one that's like the Raiders, because he was a big Raiders fan. And, you know, like anybody can make those, and everybody sees them as like, oh, I want to make one. And so like, I know tons of people that have made those. They have no sewing skills. They're, you know, no crafting skills, but they just wanted to make that thing. And it was easy. I feel like in some cases, crazy quilts were like that, where people are like, oh, this is popular, I want to make one. And they were not quilt people, we're not, you know, stitchy people. And so even though they're all one of a kind, they're all, like, I'd say about 50% of the crazy quilts are garbage. You know, you've got these beautiful ones, and then you've got ones that are just obviously made out of cheap silk, because the silk is all shredded, you know. And
Yeah, sometimes they're really like falling apart.
mm-hmm.
This quilt's really pretty.
So this was made by Bobby Ogg.
Yeah, using 1890s quilt blocks.
I love that too. You know, like Florence Pito did that. You know, she had fabrics and blocks from, like, you know, last half, I guess, of the 19th century, and she put those together to make a lot of her quilts.
171, 81, 81, 81, 81, 91, 91, 90, 180, which would be 190, 190, 190.
I really like the fabric she added in.
91, 91, 91, 91, 90. We don't have another headset. 180, 190, 190, 190. 180, 190, 190, 190.
Now, look at it. Look at this. And then think about some of the quilts, and I don't know how much, how public this is. So, knock on wood, I'm going to say this. But there's a couple of foundry quilts that were pieced by Marianne Fonds. And I think for legal reasons, they did not have her name, like, splashed on there as the person who pieced them, because just you know, because of the situation with Fons and Porter and their business, the way that was sold. You know, she had some limitations on using her name professionally like that. But those quilts, I feel like the people that bought them from Quilt Folk like knew that they may have been Marianne Fons. I mean, they showed up in the one class that she and Mary did, I think, and in any event, those went for a lot of money. But we're looking here from an auction perspective, and Bobby Ogg is a famous person, but these are not going for those kind of prices. So it's like a very audience dependent thing too, right? You know, the people that look at Quilt Folk and respond to, you know, one of their marketing emails about, hey, we've got Foundry quilts out, and the people that go there and buy them are probably a very different audience than the people that will sit here for however many hours on a Saturday watching this auction to get something that may be similar. Not to say that these are like really all that similar to the quilt, the Foundry, the Quilt Folk Foundry quilts, but still, the concept is what I'm talking about here.
Well, considering too, they finally got going around 11:30-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's now 2, and they're only 33% of the way done.
Yeah.
They're gonna be here all day.
Yeah. Quiltich is working on 1940s Dresden plate blocks. I love it. Yeah, I had all of my next round of my my pieces for my wither wax.
Yeah, why haven't I been sitting here stitching that while we've been doing this?
Why indeed?
I'm so fired.
Yeah, you're fired. Dana's done a third of this now on her own. I'm surprised that she hasn't had somebody jump in for her. Because I'm sure it takes a lot out of you to do that pattern, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes a lot of practice. I would totally be saying weird things.
Well, I mean, I think that the pattern she gets used to, but it's like just your voice itself, you know, just to keep going for, you know, she's at like an hour and a half now doing this. Or 2.5 hours.
2.5.
Yeah.
3.25 going once. 3.25 to 3.5 going twice. Last call. And we sold it 320.
So that All Modern Fabrics sold for more than the one that Bobby Ogg had made with Old Locks.
I mean, if you're, I don't know a ton about Bobby Ogg's career, but if you're a Bobby Ogg collector, then this would be an option to be buying stuff. This one's cool.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Mariners. Was it a Mariners compass?
You know, because I just think about, like, you know, we know like, you know, some collectors of like Bets Ramsey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was an auction that was like solely, you know, Bets Ramsey quilts made by her.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
I mean, and just like how busy that Mary Schaefer auction was.
Yeah. So Druid, is that another impasse with your quilting project? Oh no! I was so excited. Well, we'll just keep peer pressuring you until you have the space to spread out.
The quilt after this is that cool red and black one.
So this is wild because to me this is a more technically complicated quilt, I think, than the one before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe this will reach that same. So peer pressure does not work on Druid. So color by number during this auction, I found myself looking for the numbers by chanting in the auction season. I love it, Miss Shawl. Aqua 33, Aqua 33, Aqua 33, all in, all done.
Now, when we're done streaming here, are you going to keep your eye on this auction?
I will probably check in a little bit, just because I'm interested. There are a couple of some of the fabric bundles that I was kind of interested in, and I would not bid on any of the swatch books, but they're interesting, and I'd kind of like to see what they go for.
Well, what if one of the swatch books goes for dirt cheap?
Well, I mean, obviously one would consider that, but I kind of don't feel like the swatch books are gonna go cheap.
I don't know. Remember that last? Was it a Dana auction? I'm not sure if it was a Dana auction or not, but there was an auction that had a bunch of swatch books not too long ago, and some of them didn't go for very much.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Dana's always do go for a decent clip. Druid, I didn't know that you had shingles. I'm so sorry. That sucks. I know that is so painful.
Shingles really stinks.
Oh, girl, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. So you'd finish some blocks but need to reconfigure. Okay, well. Even though peer pressure doesn't work, I'm still going to bother you about it.
Are you all done? 140 to 150, 150 now, 160, 160 now, 170, 170.
Working with a beam compass on paper. Yeah.
Oh, I just realized too that Dana's finally taking a break.
Oh, yes, it is her other person. I can't remember this lady's name.
Last call. Sold it, $160.
She doesn't have
$160.
she doesn't have Dana's sing song. She has a little bit of a different thing. Aw, Druid.
Lot 81. This is the Festival Quilt by Bobby Ogg. Machine quilted by Janet Spencer. It's in very good condition. And you find this one on page 44 of the String Quilts with Style. Alrighty, we're starting this out. Alright, we have...
Dana wins competitions, does she?
100, 110, 10, 10.
It doesn't surprise me.
100's a bid, looking for 110, 100, 110, 110, 110, 120, 120, 130, 130, 130, 130, 120,
Is that my phone?
130, 130, 120, 130,
No, you probably just heard my phone.
Oh, okay.
130, 140, 140.
I was getting an eBay update.
Ah. Yeah, this
I was checking just to make sure it wasn't something like important.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
'cause what
this quilt
happens
is really striking, by the way. I think this one's really
It
pretty.
is. What happens with my eBay is, since I keep looking up eBay things for our needlework nights and stuff, it starts
telling
sending me updates about those things.
Yeah, I have my eBay alerts turned off because it would bother me so much. But I do have some Mercari searches turned on. I don't have the notifications coming through my phone, but one is the Senbotitsu notification. I have to, the search. I have to probably get rid of that one. Oh, man, I would buy this one. This is a very pretty quilt.
We'll buy it.
I told you. I am at my limit.
Last call. And we sold it. $180 for a bidder on a bid score. $180
Oh,
for a
now
bidder
this
on a
one.
bid score. All right, next up
This one is
Lot
very, very
82.
cool.
This is the tapestry quilt by Bobby Ogg. It's machine
And there
quilted
was
by
an
Janet Spencer.
there was an antique or a vintage quilt earlier in this auction that is like the same deal as this. Almost like an improv sort of.
And we're starting this off at. He said, okay, not 10. It's like 110 we have. All right, now 120, 120, 120. 110 now 120 would have been 120, would have been 120, would have been 120. 110 now 120.
Now, wouldn't it be cool if the person that wins this also won the older quilt and is going to display them together?
That would be like one of the quilt exhibits that was recently at the museum. I forget. Could it have been Mary Carr? I forget who it was, but it was the antique quilt next to a quilt that she had made, and used the antique as the inspiration.
Sold it.
I always think that's fun to look at, you know,
Yeah.
to see, you know, how did somebody interpret, or did they make it exactly the same, or is it just the same style, whatever.
Interesting that we just like snuck another antique one in with a bunch of modern
Yeah.
ones.
I don't think I noticed that when I was looking at the catalog.
With them triangles. It's got a 5-inch wide reproduction shirting print border, hand and machine piece. And
Oh,
hand-quilted.
no. This was made with antique blocks.
Hand-quilted and finished by Bobby O herself. It is in good condition with some small spots and discoloration in the quilt blocks.
It looks
Well,
like the border is a reproduction. I
She
think she said that.
definitely picked fabrics that looks period. Oh my god, internet bid 225.
52, 52, 75, 275, 275.
Coming out hot here.
275, 275, 252, 75, 252, 75, 275, now 3. 275, now 300, would have been 3, would have been 300, 3, 3, 3, 3, would have been 300. 275, now 3, 275, now 3, would have been 3, would have been 300. 275, now 3, 275, now 3, 275, 300, 300, look for 3. Would have been 3, would have been 3, would have been 300, 275, 3, are you all done? $275 is the bid, looking for 300, going once. 275, looking for 300, going twice.
Did you put in an absentee bid on your fabric lots?
Sold it, 275.
No. I just starred them or liked them. I can't remember what you do, just watch them.
Alrighty, up next is lot 84. We got the Ant Crown of Thorns quilt. It is finished, was finished.
This was
in
hand quilted and
1997.
finished in 97.
Okay, this was hand quilted and finished in 1997. Machine pieced and hand quilted. The label on the bottom corner states owner Bobby R, Colorado Springs, Colorado. The top made into a quilt in 1997 by Caroline Peterson Atwood of Kansas. It was quilted by Dorothy Weiss from Beaver City, Nebraska in 97. Good condition with a few small spots.
So, y'all, do you like this kind of stuff?
We got the Crown of Thorns.
I mean, it
Yeah.
seems that people do, but we also, Stephanie and I had a suggestion
In 1997,
from
we're starting
Jen about
All right,
doing streams looking at auction sold prices, especially like those banana ones that Steph mentioned earlier when I found those shaker sewing baskets that sold for a bananas amount of money. Would that ever be interesting if we got on and we were looking at like what the market's doing? Let a girl know here in the chat.
Yeah. I would be interested in looking at the old auctions, the past
Yeah.
auctions. I feel like I have a limit for watching like live auctions.
Oh no, I do too, because I just get like I like zone out. If it's, and especially if it's like right now, like a number of these lots, like I'm not at all interested in.
Yeah. Michelle says it would be interesting. Quiltus, are you saying this is a more style for people to buy for decor? I'm thinking probably the solid colored stuff, you know, when you're talking about reproduction or mixed fabrics.
All right, up next is the lot 85. We got a Mary story quilt where butterflies play. Okay, measures 40 by 40 inches. The original design was
Jared says sometimes, but not all the time. Yeah, I don't
Drew,
think
it would never
yeah.
be an all the time. And I
Yeah.
feel like if we were looking at auction sold prices, we would potentially be looking at a bunch of different things from like multiple auctions at a time,
Yeah, I
not
think so.
going through like one auction lot by lot by lot. We would just pick out some stuff that like
Yeah.
went really crazy, or maybe some stuff that went really low. And I like the border there on that, or the binding.
Yeah, I don't love this quote.
No, I just like the binding.
Yeah. By Mary who? Mary Story? Does she have her entire address on there? I think for me on this one, it's that background fabric I just don't love.
I don't love those kinds of batiks with that spatter.
I'll be honest, I'm not a batik person, period.
The butterflies are pretty though.
Yeah, I think if it was a solid background or like just a really small print and then you know, the butterflies would stand out more, you know, in a different way, I think I would like it better.
Yep, she had her whole address on there.
Not to say that this isn't a technically pretty good quilt, you know, like the individual elements I think are pretty. I just don't like, it's that
It's just
background.
not your jam.
Yeah, it's that background.
I would say the background being so bright and busy takes away from the butterflies a bit.
Yeah. It's going for a lot more than I expected.
I don't know, is Mary Stormy
Yeah, I'm not
or
sure.
Mary
Mary
Story somebody like
Yeah, I don't know.
deal.
On the floor, looking for 160 out there. 160 would have been 160. 150 I have now. 160. 160 now. 170. She's out. The floor is out. All right, 160 online. Looking for 170. Would have
was
been
made for a
170,
2006
would have been
quilt.
She just said the floor is out, so there's definitely somebody there.
Huh.
160 now. 170 would have been 170.
Yeah, a tween would love this. Yeah, I can see a younger person that love butterflies would probably, and you know, I mean, that I think that spattery background probably does appeal to a lot of people.
Last call. And we sold it. $160.
Now I would expect this quilt, this Carol Breyer Fowler, to go for a lot. She's very popular.
Is she?
We had an exhibit of hers at the museum like 2 years ago, and it was so popular and made us so much money that
Really?
our director was able to get the exhibit extended
Wow.
because it was such a big deal.
And you know, her name sounds vaguely familiar to me, but I don't.
She does a lot of this kind of
Mhm.
piecing, the swirly kind of
Mhm.
piecing, and she's got some books out and stuff.
So this is a great opportunity to own a little Carol Breyer Fowler book.
Although this quilt is
A little
small.
Carol Breyer. I guess because it's a little quilt, or just
Yeah,
a
this is a small
little bit
quilt.
of Carol. Yeah, that is a very small quilt.
Yeah, the quilts we had of hers were significantly bigger. But yeah, see, we came out of the gate right at 250.
Okay, so she must be very collectible.
Yeah, we came out already above the estimate.
250 to bid, 275 would have been 275, would have been 275. 250 to bid, looking for 275, 250, 275, 250, 275.
Wow, is that as high as we're going?
250 I have, looking for 275.
So I'm guessing all of the
250 looking for
fighting over this quilt happened with the pre-bids, right?
last call.
I think that was just one bid, maybe.
$250 to a bidder on Dana Auctions.
I don't know.
$250 to a bidder.
Yeah, but the thing is that with an auction, I mean, if the opening price is $10 and you bid $300,
Oh, yeah.
it's still going to be $10 until somebody outbids you. So yeah. So Bobby was an art quilter too. Yeah. This time period, I think people were probably bouncing back and forth. You know, it seems like Bobby was probably somebody that,
The high bidder
you know, she was doing the stuff with putting together old blocks in sort of a modern way, or I mean, even more of a traditional way. But then also falling into that studio. This one, at first, I was like, "Huh, what's happening here?" Or the 9/11 quilt. And then I realized what it is. They're coffins. I was like, "Oh my god."
Here's where we have the two pieces. All right. These are commemorative.
I didn't realize they were coffins.
Oh, the other one was Columbine. I didn't realize that was Columbine.
These
Oh, and the Columbine quilt's tiny.
in 2002. Okay. The 9/11 coffin quilt. Okay. That one was done by Bobby Ogg in 2002. Measuring 29 and a half by 35. It is machine piece, machine applique, and machine quilted. It's in very good condition. And that piece comes along with the art quilt Columbine that remembers the Columbine school shooting from back in 1999. That quilt was made by Alexandra or Sandy Schweitzer from Crystal Lake, Illinois in 2005. There is a label on the
Wow,
back
look at all
that
that
lists the
quilting.
victims, and this quilt was inspired by Lawrence Townsend's mother on the first anniversary during the Minute of Silence. She looked up and saw an unusual light in the heavens, and that inspired the quilt. And it was gifted to Bobby Og as a thank you in 2011.
Huh.
So you've got a really, really cool backstory there. You've got the provenance, and it is in very good condition. All right, so a little piece of
I'm interested to
Columbine
see
quilt
what is going to
doesn't
happen
have,
here.
huh?
All right, $10 looking for
Oh.
15, 10 now 15, 15.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the subject matter on these that people might be a little
$15,
iffy on.
20, would have been 20, would have been 20, 15,
Well, we have
The
Sandy
The
Schweitzer's.
Columbine quilt doesn't have straight edges. I wonder if that's on purpose.
They are the future.
Probably, yeah, because it's a small quilt.
Mm-hmm.
$20 now 25 would have been 25 20 now 25 25 30 would have been 30 25 30 30 now 35 $30 now 35
Okay,
35,
couple
35,
people.
$30 now 35 $30 now 35 would have been 35 would have been 35 $30 now 35 35 that's $15 a piece. So
I feel like potentially because of subject matter, these would be museum worthy pieces.
Yeah.
40 now 45 45 45 45 now 50 would have been 50 would have been 50 would have been 50 $50 now 60 50 now 60
Or some kind of collection that was
$50 down 60 would have been 60 would have been 60
related to this type of
Like
subject
U.S.
matter.
tragedies, because you had, at QuiltCon, you had some quilts like that.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
This the Columbine one, I have to say, visually, not if I didn't know what the subject matter was, I think visually it's a really interesting quilt. I mean, it gives it that different dimension though because it's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sandy Schweitzer, we know your address and your phone number now. I wonder if that's not cool to do that, to show that.
Nope, now 80 now 90 $80 now 90 89 90 90 90 would have been 90.
Unless that person's not around anymore.
100 90 now
Yeah.
100 100 now 110
There we go. We at least hit the low end of the estimate.
110 100 now 110 110 110 100 now 110 110 120 110 now 120 keep going.
So I'm just looking at the time.
These were gonna,
120 130
Hmm?
130
I was just looking at the time. I think we'll probably wrap up in a few minutes.
okay.
Because Cake's getting hungry.
No, I'm pooping out myself. I was gonna say I was really worried that these two quilts were gonna go for like $40.
Yeah, and
No, I was gonna be really sad.
yeah, because I mean I don't know that I would want either of them in my collection, but I mean they have historical significance in terms of events in the U.S. So
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like they would be a very significant historical collection for tragedies. This is very interesting, the leaf pattern on here.
yeah. Now is that applique or is that just the fabric that the picture went by too fast?
It says applique quilt palm trees
Okay.
by Jean Reed. At least these modern quilts we're seeing are labeled. I feel like that has
Good
to be
job. Good job.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to speak German today. Alrighty, folks. This is lot 88, and you're going to start me out at. Alright, 15 now.
All right. Let's see what this one goes for, and then I think we'll wrap up. Does that sound good?
Okie dokie.
Can let everybody get some sunlight.
$35 now, 40 would have been 40, would have been 40, would have been 40. $35 now, 40 would have been 40, would have been 40. $40 now, 45, 40 now, 45, 40 now, 45, 45. $40 now, 45, 45, 45. $40 now, 45, $40 now, 45, would have been 45, would have been 45, would have been 45. $40 now, 45.
I think somebody might be getting this for a bargain.
Wow.
Oh no.
I mean, it's
Well,
still a bargain.
it's still a bargain, but oh, okay. We got a little battle here.
Would have been 60, would have been 60, would have been 60, would have been 60. $50 now 60. $50 now 60, would have been 60, would have been 60, would have been 60, would have been 60.
Oh, it's only going to be 100 today. I think it's going to be 80 or 90 here.
I think we're already in the 80s outside, but there's a nice breeze.
That's true. I didn't know there was plane spotting. Is that a stream? Is that an online stream? Air traffic control. You are such an interesting person, Druid.
Oh, well, they got that for a steal. That one went for $70.
Next, lot 89, we've got the Midnight Garden quilt.
This one's pretty cool. Even though I
This
don't
one's
necessarily
very
love that
cool.
batik, but these are really
Yeah,
neat
but
flowers.
those flowers are very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes, exactly. Like I guess all the parts that would have been green, they've done in that just outline stitches.
Also, this is made by a person whose name is Nellie Switzer. That's just a cool name. That's kind of a phallic looking flower.
99 or 100 for Robin. Ugh. Yeah. So Twitch plane spotting channel. Okay, LA flights on YouTube, but he canceled today. Well, yeah, I'm wondering, I mean, are the airlines still struggling to catch up after having to ground so many? Well, you know what? Like an auction patter, if it's something that's in your background, I bet it can be kind of just a soothing sort of. And I feel like they have kind of that low. Oh, a personal emergency. Okay. Romulus, this is a police scanner. You guys
Robin,
are.
I can almost never understand what's being said on a police scanner.
Yeah, you know, my husband has the he's a first responder, so every once in a while he forgets and brings his what do you call it, his walkie-talkie home, and it'll pick something up and it'll scare the crap out of me. But yeah, it's always like
Yeah,
and
I
it's
can,
really
like,
loud.
never- If I ever worked for something like that, I'd be so annoying because I constantly just be like, "What? What?"
Yeah,
It literally sounds like when they make fun of like pilots when they're making announcements and like they put the microphone inside their mouth.
oh
I
my
can never
gosh,
hear-
you have favorite planes. Love it. You crack me up. So yeah, I feel like the air traffic controllers are probably like a very they don't talk with a lot of animation, so it's that kind of like calm, smooth, like coming in, whatever. I don't know what the air traffic controllers say.
Great try, great try. All right, my dear. Well, I'm pretty pooping out here.
Oh, Miss Rawls said her sister was traveling yesterday and they were handwriting boarding passes. I saw that. I think in Spain. It was one of the big airports in Spain. They were doing the same thing. So, oh my God, what a nightmare, right?
Wow, Druid even gave us her favorite.
8:30, King of the Sky, Lufthansa. Queen of the Sky, I love it. I love it. You guys live very interesting lives, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel really boring.
I know. All right, well, I think we're going to leave it at that. I'll check in. I'm going to check in later to see how this auction's going. We made it through more than 33%. So,
Yeah, we're at 38.
lefty forever. Yeah.
Hey, it was amazing we could even get going at all today, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really bummed that we didn't get onto YouTube, but I will figure it out. I'm going to figure it out because you know, we're usually relying on Zoom to do the double stream, and it didn't work out today. So, all right. Well, yeah. Thanks, guys. Well-rounded nerds, indeed.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will be back on Monday as per usual. And Jill and I have something fun planned for Tuesday. So, yeah. Thanks, Druid. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that, I'm gonna put me back. So I will give you my usual sign off. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. We couldn't do this without you. All the stuff. We appreciate you so much. So have a good weekend, guys. Mwah! 110, 130, 130, 130, 110, 130, 130,